This is the KoperCrabb motherfucking podcast. Oh shit!
I like that.
Guest number 2 up in
Andrew
this
Baird.
bitch.
Oh man, it's good to be here, guys.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
We're stoked to have you, man. You
All
guys.
right, get situated, everybody. Bring it.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it. Repertoire, baby. Turn down for what?
Let's talk about our sponsors right away today. Yo, we still fucking with that moon juice.
Moon
CBD.
juice.
We have.
Andrew, you got to try this if you're saying you're into edibles.
I will give it a shot.
Yeah.
I'll absolutely give it a try. Thank you.
Like I always say, follow a Lamb Gam on Instagram. We're also drinking Recess coffee.
Yeah.
That coffee
Yeah,
you're enjoying
buddy.
is.
In the mugs, guys.
That's right. In the mugs.
In the mugs.
Which are now up for sale. So go buy one. They're $10. That's very cheap.
That's amazing.
Damn.
to support.
I think we're just going to keep them cheap for a little bit.
Yeah, we are, for sure.
Introductory rate.
Help us out. / these are cool. Please have one.
All right. So,
sell
is your
mugs
mix
for
good and shit?
$50.
Sound all right?
Yes. I'm
All right.
great. Thank you.
Sick.
All right, good.
So how you doing, man?
I'm good. Thank you for bringing me on. This is a real treat, guys.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
that's
we're
sick.
stoked to have you. You know, this morning we jammed the new Fallujah record, which if
Okay.
you guys don't know, Andrew is from the band Fallujah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're also in Muldrotha with Rob.
Yes, I am. And he was a huge part of Fallujah for quite a while.
So he
And
was
then
like really in the band for a while.
I'd say like 2 full sessions worth, being like he was in at the beginning when we did Leper Colony together.
Oh,
and then,
dude, that's the name of the song I was trying to think of last week. It's
Oh,
Leper Colony,
Leper
isn't
Colony,
it?
yeah.
dude. Oh,
it's just
man.
a little small 6 like song EP.
Yeah, there is a title track, Leper Colony, right? Okay. I used
Good
to jam
times.
that song so much, and I couldn't think of the name of it last week when he was here. But
I don't even know if I can remember like naming off all the songs.
Yeah,
except,
right.
Like Leper Colony. There was Ancient Dialectic.
no, that's it. Ancient Dialectic. It's got that one, Dawn of the Pod of the Egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've heard that album, but
Yeah.
I think people like try and bootleg that stuff, or they or like someone has it online, they're trying to sell it on Amazon for like $400.
Oh, there's no
Really?
like physical copies.
There's very few.
Do you
Like,
have one?
I think I gave mine away like
Yeah.
years ago. I probably should keep it. Though.
That's how it always works.
I can ask for it
I
back.
know.
Hey, go back.
Yeah, no one ever has their original copy of that shit. But so are you a founding member of Fallujah?
I'm not a founding member. I'm an original, I think. I joined Fallujah probably 7 or 8 months or so after the band kind of formed.
Okay.
Both Scott and Alex Hoffman were like the founding members of the band itself, and then I kind of joined a little bit later. They were having like drummer issues after our boy Tommy Logan had to quit the band for school stuff, and then I joined in, and it's funny because at the time I just left my very first metal band ever. It was such a long time ago. It was called Someone's Lullaby. It was like it was a weird like
That sounds like an old band.
a really
name,
old
you know?
metal band. Like,
That's definitely
it was
a name
like
that's like my
bluesy
old
metal, weird grindcore, like nonsense, experimental.
Oh,
And
that's
then
cool.
I was essentially like a drummer out of a band, like not in the band, and I was just practicing for God knows whatever. And I met Scott in that first band I was in when I went to a practice of his for a band he had at the time called All Is Vanity.
Another one.
Yeah, yeah. It was basically just us like showing up and like trying to show off to each other and how good we were at drums and guitar. And
Yeah,
bass.
right.
It was a good time, and then the band Someone's Lullaby that I was in, we pretty much stopped. But my buddy Ian was going to summer school, and Scott was in the same class. And Ian at the time also was like a really good guitar player and kind of like getting into keyboards and stuff like that too.
Oh, yeah.
So he got word of like Scott doing the band thing, and like he asked him to go join in, and then I got invited over to a couple practices, and that's kind of how like I met him. And I think the second show Fallujah ever played was at Colorblind Studios. Do you guys remember that name at all?
Do you?
I don't think so.
Concord,
Where was it?
Concord,
in
California.
Concord?
Yeah.
Animosity played once in Concord with Napalm Death.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's sick.
Do you remember the
That
venue
was,
name?
Fuck, I don't know. Don't remember.
It's been a minute.
I've only been there once. And,
Maybe it was that.
It could have been. It was like a bar. I think it was like an actual.
Colorblind had like
video.
it was like a studio. It's like a lengthy looking building and like separate rooms for studio.
Okay,
Oh,
this
it
wasn't
was
like
just
that.
studio.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I
practice
got you.
place kind of thing, and then
Yeah.
like one room for like the venue practice room kind of thing. But it was big enough to house at least like 150 kids, I think.
And
Jesus.
you guys
Oh,
are
that's
all
cool.
from Concord area.
So I live in the East Bay. Danville to be specific.
And I'm working there on Monday.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You want to come over?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know what we'll do, but I don't play
Something.
Crash Bandicoot or something like that. Yeah.
I don't really game. I'm not really the gamer type. I've played Gears of War for a while.
I heard that one.
Oh yeah, Gears of War, Call of Duty.
A few back.
That was
You
about
guys
Oh yeah, where
talking
we
about
talked
gaming
about how we
stuff
don't
and-
know anything, but you know a shitload about game. Like you do.
Rob and I, for sure, are like pretty big in gaming. My guys and I are just into gaming and stuff too. Like
Yeah.
Halo was a big influence for us.
Don't
and
you guys play like a card game? What's the name of the card game that you are always
Rob
posting about?
Maury, our bass player,
Okay.
and myself play Magic the Gathering. I'm actually wearing the Guild Pack T-shirt.
Damn.
Represent.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is,
All the
but I'm
guild-
sure it's.
it looks great.
It's
It
a
looks
sick
sick.
shirt. I thought you were just being a hippie.
You'll fit right in Santa Cruz with that shirt.
Yeah, I know. Namaste, bro.
Yeah, namaste. Yeah, Magic the Namaste.
Yeah, no shit.
But him and I play that game.
That's cool.
It's really fun, and God, I can go in any which direction I can think of involving like, why'd you get into Magic and stuff like that. Like I got a bunch of friends that played it,
Yeah.
and then I basically picked it up from them like 2 years ago. And
Oh, really? You just started playing?
I just started
Oh,
playing,
okay.
and I'm hanging out with friends of ours that have been playing over like 5, 6, 7, like almost a decade. And that
Well,
kind of
so
thing.
are you sick or do you suck at it?
I can hang.
Yeah.
Does
yeah.
it have
Hang-
to do with like how sick your deck is, though? Isn't it?
Yes, sick deck.
Okay.
Yeah, so
so
sick deck.
do you, when you play these types
You gotta
of
have like
games, do you-
special cards for
But
it
do
to
you
work
buy
out.
the special card? Like, do you have to go out and
Yeah.
purchase to be better
You do.
than people?
You do.
Or?
There's like essentially cards that are obviously like really powerful, but they're also really expensive to buy. And when you, you're a guy like me and you're just starting, you don't want to like I
Yeah.
gotta live too, man. Like I got bills to pay and stuff. I'm not trying to throw down $50 for one card. That's
No
like
shit,
Really, really
yeah.
good, but
Not dedicated. Not dedicated.
Yeah. So I do budget building, and that's
Okay.
kind of like my way of doing it. But I
Wait, what's that mean?
means you can build a deck that's obviously not going to be screaming at a power 10 out of 10 and like stomping kids to the ground or whatever. But
Okay.
you can play a deck that's like, it can be pretty powerful, and I could still hang in a game and deal damage to people and do
even
things
though
and
you're not-
interact and still have a good time. Yeah.
Right,
So
yeah.
I do that, and then
Chaney's
also-
getting into it. Chaney, you gonna start playing Magic?
Probably not.
can I say something right now? I actually have Magic cards in my backpack.
Damn.
right
Do
now.
you? You're going to have
Thinking-
to show us something.
Thinking I might have to teach you guys.
Yeah, well,
like,
is
one
it
thing.
like, what's the other game, Dungeons and Dragons? Is it similar to
Yes.
that? Okay.
So, in a way, essentially, Magic was made to buy time or to fill the time gap in between plays made in
Dungeons.
D&D.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
By
that
playing a
shit
card
will last
game.
like all night, right? Like it lasts forever.
And games get put on hold, and they like take place like months and months later, and
Well-
they can go. I've not played D&D. I'll be totally honest with you.
Okay.
But hearing from my friends, like they last for a while.
Yeah, it's
Like,
probably like the same scene, right? So
essentially.
That's hilarious.
Does Magic last just as long?
Some games can be like as quick as 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Some can be hours. I think the longest game I've ever spent was like a good 4 hours in one game. And it's because there's just no one can really make that many well placed plays, and no one
Yeah.
can really kill each other or start things off. But
Well, that's not very long. I mean, you can play a 4-hour game in like Monopoly. You know, it's not
That's also
like
very
it's
true.
not.
So
4
when you're
hours,
doing
I
these
think, is-
when you're doing these games, are you just doing Magic cards? Are you like
Like-
you guys like eating popcorn and like having fun?
or do you
is it,
bet?
like-
Is there money involved?
I'd
be more
there's
like,
no money involved, but
fuck.
you could do that. But that also, yeah, you'd probably need like a real judge. And
Yeah, I'd be more
like-
likely to start to learn Magic. I think, like, really get into it if I could win a little bit of money off of it.
yeah, that'd probably be a good incentive to get better.
It'd be
But,
a good tour game.
It's
As well.
a great tour game.
I'm sure it already
It's so
is,
fun
yeah.
to bring
Yeah.
decks with me from home that I've built, and then because Falluja's got some sort of a rep now amongst us in our personal lives a little, like Rob and I can bring some decks, and like homies hit us up before whatever tour we're about to go on.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be at this certain date or this yada yada date. I'm gonna bring a couple decks. Like if you have
Totally.
time, we should play.
That's pretty sick.
Dude, that's cool. That's cool. And it's like another cool way to interact with your fans and like get to know people more.
Oh,
and,
absolutely, man.
Like, and it's
So
like,
wait, that many
you know,
people are into it?
It's global. Magic's huge now. It's been around for over 25 years, and
Yeah.
lately it's been really, really kicking up in popularity and became like an esport, I think, last year.
Wait, how do you make that into an esport?
There's a video game.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple video game related elements of Magic, but the most recent one's called Magic Arena, and it's actually an awesome another fun way for people who don't know how to play Magic to learn. It's like really cool learning tools and tutorials, and then you play against essentially computers, and then you eventually play against people, and it's a really broad but awesome game.
I'm sure.
Besides the fact that the artwork for all these cards is just absolutely stunning and incredible.
Yeah, it's super cool, right?
There's mechanics that are involved where it keeps you kind of like thinking, like kind of on your toes a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
it's a
like
brain.
Rob and I always say, like, this game kind of keeps us pretty sharp mentally. Like, basic math is involved, like strategy. There's like a little politicizing amongst the table and that kind of thing, and interactions are almost never the same. It's going to be different nearly every game, and it's just a ton of fun.
That's cool, man.
I'm going to show you guys later.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds
I'm
pretty cool.
excited to.
Dude, could you guys make like a Magic card? Like a Fallujah magic
Fallujah.
card?
Dude, we'll make an Entheos one, and we can start having people we'll get all of our friends to make one for their bands.
Oh my god, I would.
And then we
that'd
can
be
play
amazing.
those. That would be sick. You can
honestly,
collect them.
I think who
You
brought
couldn't
this up
really
to me?
use it, right?
I think
but it
you're
would just be
thinking
a
of
cool.
the Black Dahlia murder. They just put
Alan,
out those sick cards.
Alan Cassidy.
All of them did.
All of them.
Yeah.
He told me about that idea, like, I think years ago too. And I was like, why don't bands have like just a cool base card of the band itself plus the individual members, and you have like value to them, and like
I know
you do a certain thing that's super sick, but you're weak against this element, and then I'm cool at this thing.
Pretty cool.
And you're cool. Yeah, we're
it
all
was
cool, but,
super
like,
sick. I remember on the back of Brian's card, I think it was like riffs, and it was off the chart.
Rift power, you know,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
like health meter, moderate,
Yeah.
you know, like endurance.
Yeah, that's
probably
such
like
a sick
low.
idea.
Yeah,
I
think
mean,
it's so fun.
that's hella cool. Yeah,
And then if anything, no one plays it. They're at least collectors like items
Yeah,
too.
exactly,
For fans and, like,
exactly.
Yeah, super
I
cool.
think that kind of stuff is way cool. Like personally, as a fan, I'd rather have some cool token or like a memento type thing
Me
than
too,
just your
me too.
standard T-shirt and CD type thing. You know?
Absolutely,
I'd be
I
more
totally
likely to
agree with
buy,
that.
I don't know, a Pog Slammer or something cool
Yeah.
like that.
That's
Yeah.
another good idea. Oh, shit.
Pogs,
You're gonna,
dude.
yeah.
What about that? You
Thinking.
remember that shit from back in the day? Pogs.
Well, how old are you?
I am 29.
Okay.
So,
Okay, that's old enough.
I don't know
think.
because I barely remember
well,
Pogs.
sorry, you might have to read.
Pogs were these little like circular cardboard things with cool pictures on them, and then you had a slammer, which was like a metal one, and you put the two Pogs on top of each other and you hit it, and then when they flip over, you keep the guy who flips over the Pogs gets to keep them.
Okay.
So it became like a huge thing at school, like at elementary school, because it was like everyone had these huge Pog cases that looked like a bong kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like a thing where kids were losing all their Pogs that their parents brought them because you play for like keeps, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so they had to like issue at my elementary school, they issued like Pog rules for people to play.
Of course they did.
But
Schools
Magic
love to
wasn't
bring
too
in
far
their
after that.
fucking
Like
rules.
I knew about Magic when I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
I actually had a deck. I was like going to get into it. And me and my brother kind of got into it. And then we were just like, I don't know, this is
Too hard.
It's too weird.
Too hard
Yeah,
for
it's just
you.
like, I don't
Too
know.
weird.
I was also into other stuff, you know, drumming and shit. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'd rather buy
Sports.
like a symbol than Magic cards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
I need to buy a symbol.
Right.
Because all my symbols are
And-
flipping cracked right now.
Oh, yeah? Yours are all cracked.
Not all mine. I got like
Oh.
like almost half, but I'm working on it.
Do you crack a lot of symbols on tour?
I
Do
do.
you have a hard hit on you?
Yeah.
Are you endorsed by Sabian?
I am. Yeah. It's kind of,
Represent.
yeah,
Sick.
Sabian.
Oh, shit.
Shout out to Sabian.
Not shout out to Sabian over here.
Yeah.
My
you're-
team Minor.
Team Mino. I will say Mino makes great symbols too.
Yeah.
What's that one ride bell you have right now?
Oh, it's the Extreme Metal.
Oh my god.
18-inch Extreme Metal.
That
thing
bell is
rips.
so good.
Yeah,
I love that
thing.
bell. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like railroad crossings.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's sick. It's super sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used it on the. I've only used it once on recording, and it sounds badass
Okay.
on that Whitechapel thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you took a bunch of symbols out.
I just took that and like a couple splashes, I think,
Oh, word.
and then I got Chris to give me some symbols when I was there.
By
And
the
then
way,
I gave them to Mark, hooked him up.
By the way,
So
we
he owes me a
saw
favor.
Whitechapel live this week, and they played. Have you seen them live lately? Whitechapel. They fucking slam.
Well, I mean,
live.
I got off that one tour with them.
Yeah, that was
earlier
on the
this
summer,
year.
right?
Oh, okay.
That was the summer tour that was when Summer Slaughter was going on, right?
No, I think that was a year ago.
Am I tripping?
That might
You're
have been a
tripping.
year ago. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, last year.
Oh, you did the Revo tour earlier this year with them, right? It was them, Revocation, you.
Yes, Revocation.
Can't remember who else.
Dying
Spite.
Fetus. Well, Dying Fetus, Spite was there.
Fetus.
2 opening bands. It was like a 7-band package.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a
they were great.
freaking sick lineup.
I bet.
That was a stacked bill.
Yeah, I bet those shows were sick.
Rudy was playing drums.
Yeah.
For that tour.
Yeah.
He's awesome, man. He was
dude,
killing it. They came to Santa Cruz.
Yeah, we saw
him.
Which are the
last
shows we go to, when
That was
they're
this
a
week.
5-minute drive
Yeah.
from our house.
Yeah.
It's nice.
That was this week, dude. They fucking killed, and Phil nails those.
Oh, yeah.
Those clean vocals or the singing live. He sounds so good.
We think he's one of the best, honestly.
Yeah. I
He's
agree.
Shout out to Phil
awesome.
if he watches.
Yeah.
Love that dude.
What's up,
Yeah.
dude? How you doing, man?
Great guys all around. But
Yeah,
they
and it was
fucking
really fun
killed
to
Real
it.
good
hang
dudes.
out with those guys.
Yeah. So you guys just got home from tour?
We just did a tour with Beyond Creation.
Love
it was
those
us.
guys.
Yeah, Beyond
Other
Creation.
great guys.
Like
Those guys are so cool.
I love them.
Archaic and Equipoise. Like it was just we're like 98% of the tour package were just all friends. So it was just all the homies
yeah.
everywhere, just having a good time.
You
Really
guys
good.
already knew Beyond Creation?
What was that?
You guys already had toured with Beyond Creation before? You knew them?
This was the very first time. We've been meaning to do so for like years and years. But we
Okay.
finally were able to commit to something with them being headline, and then like we gotta do the algorithm,
Yeah.
Dude, we know all about that. We were on the
Yeah.
first algorithm. The algorithm.
Algorithm.
Yeah,
Yes.
tour.
We did the Europe when that album just...
Europe
Was that
extension.
even out yet when we did it?
It came out right before it.
Yeah.
On that tour, they played the whole album, which they
Yeah.
probably did on
They
your
did on
tour
ours
as well.
too.
Yeah.
They kind of like flip flop between like 2 different sets. I think they changed to like an older music or like older song set when they got back into Canada.
Because they've like played the...
Because they were
album.
playing in Montreal, Quebec City, like
Totally.
Ottawa, like a bunch of their home. And they're like, I think they were playing older stuff like as a crowd pleaser. Like,
Yeah,
let's have some
right.
fun. But they played
Totally.
a big chunk of the new album, and it sounds so good.
Oh, dude!
was awesome.
On
It was
that tour, I loved watching them. Their light show, they just sounded really good, and I would like smoke a little weed before their set and go and just vibe hard with the algorithm.
I'm sure.
I love it.
It's sick.
Plus, they're fantastic dudes.
They're great dudes.
I love
they're
them.
super
So
And, you know-
friendly,
Yeah.
so
Love those
big
guys.
big sweeties.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally. And we were all like on a bus together with Gorod, and I think that Hugo kind of did the same thing on the tour you were just with him, like Brought by Pain, one of his other bands, because Hugo, the bass player, is in like a million bands.
Yeah,
and
so
his band was opening the tour. and-
Equipoise, so he played bass on that too.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah.
Damn,
and
he's just
then-
like one of his bands is on every
I know.
Beyond
Hey,
Creation
man.
tour.
Smart
worked,
dude.
Worked good for him, yeah.
Yeah,
and
really
then
well.
he like pseudo tour managed a bit too. Like,
Yeah.
He did that
the
for
last
us
one,
too. Yeah.
Which is so cool. It's
Yeah.
like he's the TM. Like that's awesome.
He's also a young kid, and he
Yeah.
fucking
Young
kills
dude.
on bass. He is a sick TM, nice guy all around. He's really got it together.
He's a good
Hugo,
dude.
we love
Damn
you,
good dude.
Hugo.
Yeah.
So if
We
you
love some
watch
Hugo.
We
this,
love some
yeah.
good Hugo.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So, like I said, we were listening to Undying Light earlier today,
Okay.
and I fucking love that album.
Yeah,
I think
it's super good, man.
And I have a question from someone who listens to the show, and it's about changing members. So I
Okay.
thought this kind of fit
Yeah.
we've both of our bands have gone through member changes.
Quite a few, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
imagine.
You guys just got a new vocalist, and
Mm-hmm.
Nico has been playing guitar for your band.
Yeah, Nico.
right? So,
Nico's
Oh, yeah.
filling in, and he's killing it.
Is he going to join?
Not sure yet. Not sure about that. I'm not even sure I can even say anything yet.
yeah, of
I just
course.
know we like him. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic dude.
guitar player.
He's
also
terrific,
an
man.
incredible
Real
singer.
Dude, his singing is really good.
like
Lalaki.
yeah. What would you think?
I like
you know-
his singing. I love his riffs. I think
Yeah.
I like it. I like
Mm-hmm.
Lalaki.
He's got really good
Yeah.
phrasing.
I also think his newer stuff is getting even better. What they just released, I can't
Yeah.
remember Lalaki's latest. I can't remember. It came out like earlier this year or last year.
I can't remember either.
But it gets better and better. It kind of reminds me of
Unmasked, I
like
think it's called.
Unmasked. It kind of
Or
reminds me of like a prog
Deception
version of
Mask.
Ghost.
Deception
I think
Mask.
that's it. It's something
Wait, no,
to
that's
do with a mask.
that's a Realms of Vision song.
Oh, okay.
We suck. But anyway.
Yeah, we have no idea what we're talking
Point
about.
being is
that
Nico,
Nico's
dude,
sick.
you're sick, man.
Yeah, Nico's fucking sick.
Shouts to
He
Nico.
He's not
played
gonna
in the
watch this
Faceless
show.
for
He's
a
not
while.
watching the show, so it's all good.
I'm gonna make him. I'm gonna tell all my boys.
We're gonna
like,
send it to
hey,
him and make
hey.
sure he knows we talked about it.
Oh, he might watch it because you're on it.
But
Exactly.
But yeah, so I want to get into this question, and it's specifically for bass players because we were in a band with a guy named Evan Brewer, and he left our band earlier this year, and so Mason says, and shout out to Mason because Mason has a huge tattoo on his thigh of our EP cover.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, it's gotta hurt.
I think
hey,
thigh
man, I
is
respect
like
you.
less painful. You don't have any tattoos?
I got one on the right shoulder. That's the only one I got though.
Let's see it. What do you got?
I'm working on it. I gotta finish it up.
Is that
I'm
some
in a
gamer
weird,
stuff?
Yeah, is it
Yeah,
gamer?
it's actually so I still gotta finish it. I'm in a weird moral like I'm not getting it finished because I don't feel like I've earned it yet kind of thing. Also, money.
What's it have to do with?
It's Dragon Ball Z.
Oh,
It's
okay.
supposed to be the same crest.
Oh, okay.
And,
I'm sure people out there know what you're talking about.
yeah,
I have no idea. But.
the Saiyan crest like is the symbol of strength and fighting. And
Oh, sick.
being strong and don't.
Oh, you're like, I don't know if I
I like
deserve.
I don't know if I deserve that.
Is that
yet,
really
but
why?
Probably.
Yeah,
I
that's
could be
cool.
making that up too. I don't know.
No, but it sounds cool.
But,
You should say it.
I like that.
But I'll probably like I turn 30 next year, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe that could be like my gift to myself. Like, hey, I've made it this far in my life. I should get the stamp.
Turning 30 is badass.
Yeah, it's
Not
pretty
being
cool.
30, kind of whack.
You're really gonna like it when you turn 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting halvesies from a bunch of friends of mine who are already in their 30s to friends who are not.
Well,
So
we're in our
you're
30s.
doing good. Like you're doing what you want to do with
Yeah.
your life.
I'm still alive. I'm still healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're fit AF.
Thank
so
you.
you'll be 30 and you'll
Yeah.
be like, yeah, get some.
Gets it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You seem to have a positive outlook on things, and you're kind of, you're drumming in a band and you're traveling, and is that something you want to be doing?
That's pretty much what I've been wanting to do since I was like not even a kid in high school. Probably when I was like a middle schooler and stuff.
Totally.
Just to see the world, just play music in front of fans who, like, let's be honest, like playing in front of a fan base that comes to your shows and they're like, we fucking love like
It's
Fallujah.
weird.
Like, it's weird, but it's also like, oh my god, like
I know.
like
Yeah.
people actually really like our stuff.
It's
Like,
crazy.
this is amazing.
It's
like,
Because you do
insane.
it just because you want to do it. And then
Yeah.
when people come out and tell you that they like it
Something-
or whatever, you're just like, whoa, you've
Yeah,
had it.
like
That's
when
crazy.
this kid actually, Mason, came to a show and showed us his like huge primal tattoo of our EP and had us all sign it. And it's like when people started doing things like that or showing up with this dark future tattoo that Navene and I each have, it's like really surreal that anyone knows about the music that any of us make. Let alone enough to go out and put that stuff permanently on their bodies. I'm sure there are
Crazy.
a million Fallujah tattoos.
tattoos
and,
we've seen.
Yeah.
The first time that kind of blew my mind wasn't actually a tattoo of Fallujah. It was an old Alsha Parish tattoo on some kid who got it straight across his chest.
Holy shit. The logo?
I think it was the logo.
Oh my
the
God.
ASP logo. Yeah.
Were you in All Shop Parish?
No.
You just thought that was crazy.
I just thought that was
you saw
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, people get tattoos of like their favorite band. That's crazy.
They
Like
do.
you gotta live with that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, sometimes people get really shitty tattoos of their favorite band, dude. I've seen pictures on the internet and it's like, oh no, buddy. Fuck. I'm
Still
sorry
sick,
you did
though.
that.
Still sick, though.
really cool,
Laser
but yeah.
removal is an option.
Yeah, totally.
All right, so
All right, so I want to ask this question.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
said, hey guys, I was wondering what you guys appreciate / look for in a bass player. I'm going to expand this to be any person who you're looking at to join your band. I recently moved to play bass in a new band and am trying to bring forth as much as possible since I'm working with completely new people. I've always been a big fan of your guys' parts and Evan's work and got to play with you guys both with Tim and Evan, or with both Tim and Evan. So any at all feedback would be appreciated. Cheers from the Nebulium / Namura boys. Hell yeah, man.
right on.
Sick, dude.
I wanted to expand that to all band members just because I kind of have an answer to that. Is that one of the most important things that I think a new band member can bring to the table is being a cool person to be around. Because
yeah, for sure.
I know for us speaking, it's like if we can't be around you 24 hours a day and tour with you, then
It doesn't matter
gonna
how
be a
sick you are. It's
rocky
not going to
road.
work.
Yeah,
It's not going to work out.
It doesn't.
Personality clashes or something.
Yeah.
Like
That almost supersedes like the talent of the person in a way.
It really
Like, we know you're good. Like, we know you're a prodigy.
Yeah.
Crazy views on the internet and stuff. Are
Yeah.
you a good dude?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
are you cool to hang out with?
exactly. Do
That's
I
huge.
hate myself every time you walk in? Am I just pissed that you're around? That's kind of a big deal for me personally. But I don't know. As far as any new member, we want to know if they're good. That's,
Also, I mean,
can you play our
for
parts?
me, if I was going to join a band, I've tried to join bands before.
Mm-hmm.
I just come in there and I just say, this is what I do. Hopefully it works with the band. And that's really all you can do.
Because you yourself are unique. There's no one else out there
Exactly.
like you.
Exactly.
So
just-
bring you to the table.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
don't try and
You're
be
the
somebody
be-
else.
yeah.
Like,
Don't.
be yourself.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
corny, but it's like you're the best you. And that's the best thing you
Pull
have
out,
to
pull out
offer.
all the stops, all the you stops.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when we were like looking for someone to play for Evan specifically, we knew that we had to find that they were big shoes to fill. We knew that it was going to be hard to find someone who was like an all-around bass player in the same way that Evan was. But we looked around knowing that whoever was going to step up wasn't going to play everything exactly the same way as Evan would, or
And that's
write things
sort of
the
what
same way.
I would try to stress to people, like, you don't need to be Evan. It's like, you're not going to be him. So
Yeah.
just, and I'm sure you experienced that with your new vocalist. Like,
You won't.
you
be
gotta
Alex,
just do
but
something different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
something that's in the vein of that. It makes sense that you got the new person, but of course they're not going to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that would hinder their own talents if you're just trying to emulate someone else.
Right.
Because you're never going to do it the way it perfectly.
Yeah, which I wanted to comment on. I think you guys did that very tastefully because
Thank you.
in listening to both Alex and Antonio is your new vocalist's name, they're both very different. Like Alex is to me more of kind of like a DM type vocal, like low. He does a lot of lows and it's sick. But Antonio has this like whole mid and high range thing and does a lot of like more melodic shit, which I'm really into. And I think also really goes well with your guys' music. Like it fits you guys
thank you.
super well.
Sick.
So I think that's cool that you guys didn't choose someone who just sounds exactly like Alex. You
It's
kind of
all
did.
similarity. Yeah.
Was that something that you like?
We wanted to try and break new ground, like vocally, like we knew about Alex's strengths for like the longest time existing within Fallujah, but we're like, let's try and see if we can't, run with like, what's a good word to say? I guess like trying to be. We know lows and these certain elements of highs that we've always had in Fallujah will exist in all these other vocalists we try out, but let's see what they got to bring to the table and stuff. And when we stuck with Antonio, his high and mid range was pretty much everything we were looking for. Plus, he, like, within the next album that we were going to try and write at the time, Undying Light, and then releasing it, we were like we want to try some other vocal related things we've never really done before too. So if you notice in some certain parts of the songs that he's on, he's doing like yell.
Yeah. We like those a lot.
I call those like
love all
pitched,
those.
like he does like pitched screamy type shit that I really like. It just like you guys are such a melodic band and kind of a dreamy band that type of shit to me just really fits the ambient thing that you have.
Right.
You know, I don't know. I thought it just complemented the music really well.
We
and
thought it
it's
did.
like-
We thought it did too.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, lo and behold, like a year down the road, 2 years, 5 years down, he's going to make a bunch of improvements everywhere else too.
Exactly.
So,
And that's
course,
your
of
first
course.
release
Yeah.
with him. That's like so huge. You
and
know?
then we've already done like 3 tours with him now. And honestly, we got audio back from a few shows from this last tour. His lows actually are still amazing too. He actually
Yeah.
busts out a lot of lows during
awesome.
our live sets, like in Amber Gaze and
Yeah.
like cerebral hybridization and stuff. And he kills it. Like, he sounds so good.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's probably also, I don't know what his touring history is, but he's probably hungry for it,
He's
right?
been hungry.
Yeah.
Been hungry
So-
for a while.
I mean, that's a cool thing
yeah.
to have, for sure.
He was in or is still in Underling.
I think they still work on projects or like work together. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know the premises of that exactly. But
did they tour a lot?
I think so. Sidian was another project that he was in.
okay.
And I know they were trying to do some tours. I think they did a few. I don't think either project got too far to touring a lot. They
Yeah.
did some, but just
Yeah.
not enough to get the feet wet and
Totally.
to give him like a few feet out the door on the touring element and be like an active, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
consistent touring
Yeah,
metal
of
band. of
course.
It's
some
hard to
kind, you know?
do, man.
It
It's
is.
crazy.
Mhm.
Like we kind of know. Well, I know from doing my solo project, like I had always been in bands that had it easy finding tours,
Mhm.
and I remember going. Chaney was telling me like, dude, when you leave Animals and do this again, it's gonna be hard to find tours. It's gonna be, you sure you want to do this? It's gonna be weird.
Back to ground zero, kind
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
Totally back to ground
So
zero.
I can relate to that.
Mhm.
A lot of bands, it's just hard to. Where do you start?
To kick off,
Yeah.
Like to
It
get
is.
that first spark, it's super hard.
What do you think the first, how do you, in this day and age, how do you even get to that point?
I seriously don't know.
I don't really know either.
Because people ask
you
me,
know?
I'm sure they ask you, how do you be in a touring band and stuff? And I'm just like, I don't fucking know.
It's
dude.
so,
I have no
yeah,
idea.
I can't choose a starting point. I could choose like places throughout the career path where like things got better.
Yeah.
Or things got
Yeah.
Yeah.
sketchy, and then we just improved from there. But I mean, it's so hard to have a starting point on any of that.
I know.
you
It's
know?
like you
It
sort of
really
just have to
is.
keep doing it.
You kinda
That's
just
kind of
have
the
to keep
thing
doing
that
it.
we've found to be the most, the secret or whatever to all of it is just keep going,
Yeah.
And that's what
Consistency.
we've found to be
Yeah.
cool about the podcast is we're committed to doing one every week. So we can't back out of it. We
Yeah.
have to every week. You just keep on going.
Yeah.
No matter what happens. If it's a bad one or nobody watches it, doesn't matter. We're doing the next one.
It's just something. It's
and that's
just,
what your
yeah.
band has to be.
Yeah, I would say
we're going.
that's like a good example of a starting point for a band is just make sure that you're consistently doing something to get the band out there. Like every week or every day, I'm gonna commit to 5 minutes of like doing some riffs
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
or fucking with marketing on the internet or whatever
About
else.
the social media pages.
Exactly.
like-
It's you,
yeah.
you have to do there are a bunch of different things that you have to do to have a band nowadays, and you essentially at the beginning have to act as a manager, an artistic director. You have to like keep the band together because we all know how hard that can be, and there are a million different things. You have to sell merch and come up with
Yeah.
I mean
designs, like
It's impossible.
so many things that have nothing to do with music at all. And yeah, just do something every day, and I think that's the best way to like build shit.
It's the same as anything else. Just like dieting or working out or whatever you want to do in your life, you have to just continually do it. It's a practice that you're going to just keep on doing.
Totally.
And if you just look at it like that, it becomes a little more easy in my mind. I'm just like, you know what? I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
it'll get me over here eventually.
eventually.
Yeah. One thing that I think is good to just like get your name out there nowadays are Facebook groups. I don't know if you guys have been on them at all. I know there's like a drummer
I'm
one.
in a couple of them.
Yeah.
I go in
They're-
there every once in a while.
Few.
There are a ton of kids in those groups who are just hungry to hear new music or to know of new musicians who are sick and
Especially the young, the
Totally,
really young,
yeah.
like that at their age, similar to how we were at that age, finding out new bands on the internet and
yeah.
CDs and certain
It
musicians.
was way
that were just
harder when
killer.
we were kids too.
It was definitely, yeah.
Dude, that would have been so sick. I don't know if I would have been in a lot of groups though. What about you guys?
I've gotten invites.
Probably.
I think I'm in a couple.
I mean, like if I
related
was a
ones,
kid.
but- Oh, as a kid.
I don't know what
I
don't,
definitely
I think
would
about
be in a
that
lot of
sometimes.
groups. You guys, I was on like an OTEP message board when I was a kid.
my
And
God.
I had a Buffy MSN groups thing that I made. So I'm the type
Wait,
of
Buffy the
person,
Vampire Slayer?
Yeah, Buffy the Vampire
Damn.
Slayer. I did.
That's so
I spent a
sick.
whole summer doing that. I think it was like my 6th grade year that I made that. But my point is that I would definitely be in one of like a million of those groups talking about metal
That's
if
tight.
I had access to that at that point in my life.
I don't know. I was kind of late to the internet.
You're also a little
Like,
older.
I got Facebook. Like everyone in my family had a Facebook before me.
Really?
And I was like, all right, I guess I'll get one. Like my mom and my dad and like everybody.
Your mom is like at the tip of the technological revolution.
Dude, my
though.
mom was so hip to Netflix. Like that's how I found out about Netflix. It was like when it first started way back in the day. And then she was like, yeah, they send you videos in the mail. you know, and I was like, that is the fucking stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like,
so
just
weird.
go get a fucking
Go to
movie.
Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, go to Blockbuster. What the fuck?
But she was,
Yeah,
she-
exactly.
dude, she had Netflix when I was like 12, like over 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seriously.
I do remember that.
No, it was legit. I was like, damn that, and also eBay. She was super hip to eBay.
Oh yeah.
Like
Well,
when I was a little kid.
really, I didn't even know it was around then. All
Yeah.
I knew about was like Wheel of Fortune on PC. I played it a lot, but.
But yeah, I didn't really. I mean, I went on like Instant Messenger, AIM.
I did
Oh,
too,
yeah.
for like
Me
a
too.
brief moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
We
guys-
had this thing. I don't know if I've talked about this, but we had this thing called. I think it might have just been a California thing called Makeout Club. Did you know about that?
I've never heard of
I
Makeout
did
Club.
not know
No.
about
It was
Please-
like
Please explain.
way before MySpace and all that.
What about Zanga?
I don't
Do you
know
have
what that is.
Did you have a Zanga or a live journal?
Okay, it was like LiveJournal. It was
Oh.
like LiveJournal.
Don't go back and read those entries.
Apparently, I have a fucking LiveJournal, dude. I looked it up and I said some stuff in there. And it was.
You said some stuff.
I think I made like one post.
I'm sure I did too, and it was probably when I was in like 7th grade and had just like, broken up with a boyfriend or something. And I don't know. I don't want to
man,
go
the
read that.
world's
I
out to
don't
get
dare.
me.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
Makeout Club was
My
like
best friend.
one page, and I think you had like a profile picture. It was like profile picture, interests, and then one other thing, like your AIM name.
Oh, your AIM name, of
Yeah.
course.
So if you could what you would do is we would search for people like within our area, like Santa Cruz, and then I'd go on there and look for like Santa Cruz, and then like search through everyone's profile, whoever was like into metal.
This sounds like Tinder.
I was just about to say, is this pre-Tinder days? Like,
Dude,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is like
this
when
is
I
way
was
before
fucking
Tinder.
16.
this was Tinder.
There was
in-
no Tinder then.
I don't know.
Back
People,
in the
I mean,
day.
people must have like hooked up on it and stuff. I didn't
Probably.
obviously, but
I'm
was
sure.
has to
Everyone
be.
uses all those sites for sex. That's what's at the bottom
sounds
of all
way
of
more
these
sketchy,
social
too,
media.
yeah.
I know.
Tinder already seems bad enough now, but like
Well,
Craigslist.
that's like,
You know, Craigslist used to be like the Tinder.
oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I heard too. Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, I've heard about that too.
I
But
thought
I'm
Craigslist was
more of
literally
a,
just like sell your garage full of junk to like people, and they came by to grab it. That's what I thought Craigslist was as a kid.
Yeah.
and it was like
No, it's for sex
kinda
hookups.
weird stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
well, there's like the personals, right?
Yeah.
Which I've never gone into, by the way.
I definitely have. Why the fuck wouldn't you go? I actually have gone into them
what
so
are you
much
into?
that I know that the personals got shut down earlier this year.
Also,
Those
wasn't there
personals
like
are good
okay, there was
reading.
like code words, right? Like, oh, it's 12 roses to hang out with me. And that meant like
I don't know.
$100 or something.
I don't know, but it sounds
That's
about
what I
right.
heard.
Super-
We have a mutual
all right,
friend.
Craigslist
we
is
have
an underground
we have
escort service.
we have a mutual friend who told me about that.
Oh.
I'm not going to tell you who it is, but you
I
can
mean,
guess.
I definitely know who it is.
Um,
All right.
But anyway, hold on. Makeout Club. So we would go on there, and I would just search for like anybody who was into metal or like Dying Fetus or something, and be like,
Yeah.
"Dude, you're into metal," and then
I need more metal friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
school sucks.
yeah. And I
It was
made a
hard
couple.
to find
Like
metal
I've
friends back
actually
in the day.
linked up with a couple friends on there.
Really?
Not that I still talk to now, but
Oh.
are people that were into hardcore and stuff. Cause
Yeah,
we were
that's pretty
into
cool.
hardcore back in the day.
I always was like
Interesting.
out for a way to find a band back in the day. I would look at Craigslist a lot for seeking band members. Did you ever do that?
I did not know.
Isn't there like a ton of jokes about that?
I don't
It's
know.
like funny-
probably. I could see that.
Funny like posts on there when they're looking for someone so specific, and it's like
Yeah, they do that
it's
a
just
lot.
really funny, right?
Yeah.
Like must relocate, must be
Drug free. Okay.
25
definitely
to
drug
29.
free.
18
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah, exactly.
5 years experience.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm in high school.
You're
man.
into like
Yeah.
these very like I don't know what kind of bands they would say. Probably like Disturbed and Korn. You got to be into
Dude,
those
musicians are
bands.
so like serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they
I do.
have the rap for being like, you know, stoners and stuff, but musicians are like so serious
Well,
about
we
their work and all
we
that
all
stuff.
take ourselves very
Yeah,
seriously.
it's hilarious.
It's
We're
like,
the worst like perfectionists
Yeah.
like on the planet.
Yeah.
Like we're super hard on ourselves, and then if things are just not the way we want them to be perfectly, then we just
Yeah.
beat ourselves up about it.
Yeah.
I still do it to this day.
Me too.
Yeah.
Of course.
All the
Me
time.
too. It's like I take it so serious to where
I
it's
do
like
too. It's
I want
life
to
or
laughable.
do a
death.
good job.
It's
Yeah.
funny. though.
But in reality, it's
We
like,
all
dude,
take
you're
it.
making a fucking metal song. Like,
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
I don't know. It's just
My
silly.
life.
At the end of the day, they're all songs that have like screaming over them, and 75% of the population doesn't get it.
99% of the population thinks it's noise.
Yeah.
I like the
Totally.
music. You get that comment a lot. I like the
Oh,
music.
yeah.
I just can't understand the vocals.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
it's always like, why does she have to scream
Why
like
should they
that? Can't
scream
she sing or he or
I don't know. I've
it's
been doing
always like
metal
that.
for so long that like no distant family member or anything like that's gonna tell me that. Yeah, they know the deal.
Yeah, however,
they know what's up at this point.
there are outsider people who sometimes say that type of shit.
commoners.
Commoners.
The common folk, yeah.
Yeah. What's the worst comment you've ever gotten from someone at a show?
At a show?
Yeah, to your face.
It was in Germany. And,
Was it in Germany?
It was probably in Europe. I know.
No offense, Europeans, but you guys are a little more critical in like
do
a
not sound
direct
like
way.
album.
Yeah.
This did not sound like it was very good, but did not sound like album. Why
Yeah.
is that?
Like last year, because we took Tim. I don't know if you've met Tim. He's been filling in on bass for us, but we took him on tour. He's a black guy. And we took him to Europe with us last year, and we got comments about him being black like pretty often. No one in America has ever said anything about him being black, but it wasn't a bad thing. It would They would just point it out. Like
just curiosity.
Like
genuine,
one guy
yeah.
was like, "You guys sound very funky. It's because you have a black guy in your band, so you're very
Whatever,
funky."
dude.
It's like I don't know
not
about
just-
that, but what has someone said to you at a show?
The triggers thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the triggers is cheating.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they said that to
yeah,
you?
that's still like it shouldn't be, but people still think it's.
It's way harder to play with
Triggers
triggers.
are not
It is.
cheating.
In my opinion.
PSA.
It's way
yeah,
harder.
Triggers
yeah.
ain't cheating.
PSA. Also, spoiler alert too. Triggers are not cheating.
Triggers are not
You're a
cheating,
dumb
and
idiot.
guess what?
No.
Cupping the mic isn't cheating either. So suck
Hey,
it,
hold on
dick.
about that though. I got no. I'm just kidding.
You're like, no, that's cheating.
Wait.
I remember when we first
I
started,
don't
there
cup
was
the
like
mic
a
for the
picture
record.
of you like cupping the mic a little bit or
Dude,
something.
I do this. I'm sorry. I like to hold a microphone like this. It feels comfortable to me. I never do that one.
Not two-handers.
I never do that.
No, you gotta do two hands with the thumbs on your face like
Yeah,
that.
it's like
The hand.
You know what's funny? We've never done metal vocals into these mics.
all right. Everyone, try to do one.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. You're gonna blow my thing up.
I'm not there yet.
I'm not there yet.
I'm not
You're
there yet.
practicing.
Maybe, one day maybe.
What Antonio doesn't know is that you're out to be the next vocalist of Fallujah. You're like,
Just ripping
bitch,
all
I'm
four
gonna go
limbs
take
plus
that.
my vocals,
Yeah.
like the thing. Or
That'd be no
That's
headset mic,
sick.
bro.
Headset mic. Yeah. You should.
That would be savage.
If you had a headset mic, I would just think you were so fucking cool. Yeah.
You remember that old? Actually, just divert a little bit. You remember that old band, Sacramento, Dismal Lapse?
I recorded that band.
I
What
don't
was
I
the
recorded
drummer's
that
name again?
His name, God, I haven't talked to them.
Oh.
So he was the
Okay.
vocalist, and he had
A
Yeah.
headset mic?
the Britney Spears mic going.
Oh,
And
that's
he was doing
so
sick
cool.
blasts, like sick groovy parts, double
Oh,
kick things, dun, dun, dun,
shit.
dun, 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 and he was like doing vocals at like the. I don't know how to explain it. Like, just he was like screaming out all the vocals and doing like gutturals and stuff like that at like points where I would say it looked easy to do while
Yeah.
blasting, while doing like a basic, I guess, metal groove of
So
some
you saw
kind,
them
know?
live,
We played with them
Wow.
a few times
Okay.
way back in the day too. They sound so great. It was like a 3-piece band.
dude.
That's sick.
They were like one of the first bands I ever recorded.
Did they track
Dismal
like
Lapse.
that with the headset?
No.
I'm sure he did like separate vocals in the studio,
Yeah.
like comfortably, of
I
course.
know, I'm
But
just joking.
Homeboy had to have practiced, like
A lot.
a lot, drumming and doing vocals. Like
Oh my god! Have you ever tried to practice doing that?
I've never. Yeah,
It's really hard. to
Sometimes
do
I'll just be like,
anything.
all right, I'm gonna hit one of Chaney's lines just like for fun, and I
Yeah.
can't do it. I mean, I can't do it as of now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been trying to like yell just to myself, like live,
Yeah.
certain elements of vocals or like just like a certain lyric that Ant will say at a specific part,
Yeah.
to make it look like I'm paying attention to other
Yeah, it's
things
just
outside
cool.
of just me drumming. You know,
Like you know something about
like,
your
not
band.
like my four limbs aren't already moving as they are. Like,
Right.
You know who can fucking totally do that? Alex Rudinger.
yeah, he's super good at doing that.
Yeah.
I see him like mouthing.
Yeah, he
Whitechapel
can
lyrics
mouth like
all the time.
all the lyrics and play drums
Yeah.
at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
He's just trying. He's
professional.
like he's the kind of guy where I feel like he can get away with just doing that without doing the vocal element. He can just say the words while he's playing.
I can't do
Oh,
that.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's
I don't
fucking
know.
crazy.
It's hard enough for me. I try to like play Nirvana songs on guitar and like say those. I can't do that for shit. I can't do two things at once.
I can't
It's really
either.
hard.
Some people just have it down, man.
I know.
I got mad respect for those who do.
Dude,
I do
Dave
like Fog
Revocation.
Machine. I do Fog Machine while we play. So that's
Yeah, you do.
I like that.
Do you do
A
the
little-
fog
I
machine?
got a little foot pedal with fog on it. So I'll hit
Damn. I have a little pedal that I use
So
to
cool.
switch my vocals over, so you could say I can do a lot.
Damn,
you know,
I need to
I'm,
get a fog machine next to my foot. And,
yeah, you got to get one.
Dude, it's sick.
That's sick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to be a sick dude.
Y'all need to
Also,
be fogged out
like you can
back
just
there.
you can like time it right. You know, you're playing and then you come around on a fill and then just done. You know.
Is that what you do?
Yeah,
That's very cool. We
Yeah,
have
no
two
one
fog
notices,
machines,
but I'm,
though, so what do you do then?
I'm working it.
We have two fog machines.
I put them on one channel,
Oh, shit.
so they just go at the same time.
That's really cool.
Upwards or outward?
It's out, but dude, I was thinking we should just mount the fuckers upwards. It would look way
Have, like,
sicker.
a-
Dude.
In my free time at night, you know, before I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah.
Like, just, like, you can find anything you want nearly, like, on the internet now.
That's true.
Like, bootleg stuff and footage. And I want to get Disney Plus at some point because I would like to watch The Mandalorian.
That's what I
let's
figured.
face it.
I'm very surprised you
Yeah.
haven't seen it. I'm almost
I'm
like
just getting a little-
And I was like,
flabbergasted.
I know you have that. shit.
I
yeah,
know. Of all people, I thought you'd roll up in here like I'm on Disney
I'm late
Plus,
for the party
bitch.
all the time.
Yeah.
I'm always late. I'm fashionably late, but when I come in, it's sick,
Yeah.
dude.
That
Well,
happens
we
to
only
me.
have it because we got like a trial.
No, we have it because Verizon.
Yeah, we got a free trial.
Here's a plug
For a year.
Verizon free trial.
Yeah, do you have Verizon?
I have AT&T.
Ooh,
actually. Yeah.
no free trial for you.
No,
You're
goodbye.
fucked.
All right. Well, I'm gonna
Kiss that
get out of there.
Mandalorian
Hey,
goodbye,
the
bro.
Mandalorian is worth the money. It's worth the like $8 or whatever a month. So it's a really good show, which
I would
I'm
like
sure
to
you've heard. from
get it
everyone.
because I want to start watching. They have Gargoyles on there again.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Gargoyles?
Damn, I do remember that actually.
Yeah,
I do.
I want to relive those days.
We were watching Goof Troop.
Which one was that one again?
Goof Troop is goofy.
Goof Troop.
Goof Troop
Troop.
was on around when
Goof Troop.
Gargoyles was.
think
It's more
so.
of a kids show though
Yeah.
than Gargoyles. I mean, Gargoyles is kids, but Goof Troop's like really little kid.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Let's be real here.
I can't remember Gargoyles very well, but I could see that. Yeah.
They also have the animated Batman on there, right?
Probably do. I would imagine they would.
That would be
Yeah.
sick to watch that.
All the old stuff. Probably old Spider-Man stuff. Like
We haven't really watched much of the Disney
I haven't
at
like
all.
checked
So.
what they have available on the roster, but
Are you a Marvel fan? Phase
am.
3 Marvel fan?
I am.
Well,
a Phase
then
3
you'll
Marvel
be
fan.
stoked as fuck when you log on to Disney because it's every single movie.
Okay.
Have you seen every single?
I
movie?
think I've seen nearly every one of them except I actually didn't watch the very first Captain America.
Oh, you need to. I was just telling Navene he would really like it because
Yeah.
of the Captain America
Yeah.
backstory.
I need to fill the gap.
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
definitely should watch it. It's weird though when they show the CGI of Chris Evans so skinny before he becomes Captain America. Have you seen
Right.
those before
I
and
have,
afters?
yeah. Like
Looks so fucking fake to
know.
me. It's just really, really odd.
weird CGI.
and
Wait,
a
he was like
throw-off.
CG skinny?
Yeah,
CG
because
skinny.
he's like a
Short.
muscular.
gaunt looking, big,
Yeah.
like bony jaw kind of thing, short, like you know.
Yeah, it's really cool though. It's like a wartime story,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I think Navene would enjoy it. I'm sure you know the
Old-timey.
backstory already. So, dude, yeah,
I love Marvel. Yeah,
me too.
Avengers, Infinity War, and the End Game. I thought were I thought were really,
Those
really
are
cool.
the best.
Mhm.
I just rewatched.
I read some of the comics, like before as soon as I knew the direction when they first started revealing Thanos, I knew like, okay, they're probably gonna try and take the comic book related route where all the Avengers get involved in like some galaxy based catastrophe where the Mad Titan's gonna try and like take over, get the Infinity Stones, like complete control of like everything and wipe away half the galaxy.
Yep.
And the comics are honestly like a bit more brutal. Like people
I
get
bet.
brutally killed in that. Like a bunch of them, like half the Avengers get wiped out before he even engages the snap after getting them all and
really?
stuff. Yeah, like,
Huh.
it gets like pretty out there. But I thought the movies did a really good rendition of that in their own element, you know. So
The movies are really good.
involving sacrifice and like
Yeah.
not everyone's gonna make it. Like get ready,
Right.
this is about to be this is gonna be some shit, you know. So
Totally.
it was cool. I
just
loved it.
I just rewatched Infinity War and it makes me cry. Like I cried
If
for
I'm
the
to be
whole
perfectly
hour
honest,
end of the movie.
The first time I saw it in theaters, where everything goes quiet after the snap and he leaves, like
oh yeah,
that was like a very like
tearjerker.
welcome to reality.
Yeah.
This is a tearjerker right
Yeah.
here for sure.
Totally is, man.
Mhm.
Totally. Navene knows nothing about
I
that.
don't do all that stuff.
It's a good watch. I'll be honest. It's a
I'll
It
good
check
really
watch.
is. I
But
think
get ready. Like
Yeah.
it's like an involvement of like your not just your imagination, but like your emotions and stuff.
Damn.
yeah,
because
it is.
I don't know if I'm ready for all
Because
that.
all the other ones, like, they're lighthearted and they're fun, they're cool, and they're action packed, and
Yeah.
there's some backstory elements that are like, oh, that's so sad, but super cool. Once it gets to the Infinity War thing, it's like your inevitable doom is about to come. Like, I hope you're ready, like, no matter what, like, because nothing's gonna change what's about to happen, and then bad shit happens, and you're like, oh my god,
Totally.
that was like,
Well, I got
that was
Disney
awful.
Plus, man. I'll watch them.
Yeah, you should.
I don't know when though. I don't have that much time.
Yeah, it's like I
You have
watched
life.
every single movie this year except for I think the second or third Ant-Man. Is there a third Ant-Man? Not my favorite of the series.
Ant-Man and
by the
Ant-Man
way.
and the Wasp.
I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I saw like clips of it. I didn't like watch the
I'm
whole thing.
kind of fucking good on that
Mhm.
part of it, but it's a really long watch. We're looking at I think
Damn.
like well over 100 hours.
I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
I'd
You
rather.
remember when
hit
Lord of the
gym.
Rings, the extended edition, was like the
No.
like if you devote all your time to watching the entirety of the extended edition on Blu-ray, that was like a
Cheney
Oh,
just got
I
into
actually
Lord of the
just
Rings.
watched all of the Lord of the Rings back to back in a day.
okay.
I may have
That's a
seen the
good start.
extended. Yeah, I just went for it, you know.
Because my band,
so good.
my band dudes and I, we love Lord of the Rings. That's honestly one of the
Oh, well,
our
we
biggest
Oh, yeah.
influences.
we had a merch guy who is so obsessed with Lord of the Rings. You guys would get along so
We'll
well.
I'll talk
He's
more
into
with
it though on the next level.
Yeah, probably more than anyone you've ever met. It's like anywhere we go, we would go see mountains, and he'd be like, you know what this reminds me of?
him. We do that
Mordor.
every tour. Yeah.
He says that
Mordor.
his name is Frodo at
Yeah,
Starbucks.
at Starbucks.
So what do you got for that?
on the cup. They
Yeah.
write it
Yes.
down.
Yeah.
It's not just Frodo. It's any name from Lord of the Rings.
I am Legolas today.
Yeah.
I am.
He's obsessed. He
I'm
reads the
really
book
now.
every day, and while we're driving, he just listens. Or when he's driving, he listens to Lord of the Rings, the score.
Wow. Oh, the score. Oh, the score is beautiful though.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
to be
we know.
perfectly honest,
He
yeah.
told us we know.
I'll play it sometimes during our
He
drives
talks
when
about it
I'm
all the time.
going through forests and mountains and.
God,
So
you
Andrew, dude,
guys
I
are
was
best
lurking
friends.
your Instagram a little earlier today.
Oh.
What's up with your fitness, dude? You're
What's up with my
going to
fitness?
CrossFit
Yeah.
and shit like that, right?
Yeah. So I go to shout out to them, by the way, if they ever get to watching this episode. But I go to CrossFit CSA in Dublin, California, Combat
Okay.
Sports Academy.
Oh,
Oh
sick.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
pretty well renowned like West Coast like combat gym. A lot of fighters go there to train.
Do they do jiu-jitsu?
They absolutely do, and it's a ferociously good program. If I'm not mistaken, like
That's awesome.
good coaches, good people to be around.
Do you do any fighting? No fighting.
I did for a while do Krav Maga. I did it for like 4 years.
It's
Oh,
a long time.
nice.
And that was a lot of fun too.
Krav.
You get a little beat up, and it's pretty tough at times, but
Yeah.
it's so fun. Like you meet a lot of great people doing it, and like you make friends with all your coaches, and just the full health benefits involved, moving around,
Yeah.
strength elements, cardiovascular stuff, like endurance. Like it's
I
pretty
did
cool.
like the CrossFit gym that I went to here. I went for a
Which one was
little,
that one?
CrossFit Amundsen.
I don't think I'm familiar.
It's
with
like
that
one of the first ones.
one of the first ones.
CrossFit's from Santa Cruz.
It
Did you
is,
know- did you
yeah.
know that?
The first primary. Is it like a big, like a hangar warehouse looking place?
Yeah,
and a
there's-
massive uphill field out in the back behind it.
Oh no, I think you might be thinking of CrossFit Santa Cruz West.
Yeah, West. Is,
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
the one that I went to.
That's
but,
not the one he went to.
Okay.
This dude Greg Amundsen is one of the old first CrossFitters, if you will, and I was going to the CrossFit gym here, and then he also did Krav Maga there. So
nice, doubled up. Yeah, that's cool.
But it didn't really stick with me.
It's tough. I mean, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It puts you. I think it helps you develop a certain mindset for wanting to
Definitely.
like. I want to be in the suck pretty often,
Yeah,
and I know I'm like showing up, and I'm about to get pretty damn annihilated today. But God, when you're done, you feel like a whole new person.
It's also cool with that kind of stuff where you just show up. And it's not like when you go to the gym on your own, you're like, all right, I got to force myself to. You just show up and they're like, here's what you're doing. And
it's
you're
nice
like,
to know that there's involvement with like a plan that day or the whole week or your entire gym's on a year-long program of some kind. You know, it's nice to know that it's in their hands and they care and they give a shit about programming. And you're like, oh, I'm just going to show up today. Yeah. And they probably have you like on an app and you can take a look and you're like, oh, this workout today looks awesome. I'm going to freaking do that. Tomorrow's workout looks awful, though. I'm going to skip that bullshit.
Yeah.
You know,
totally.
So you don't do it as a group?
No, you do.
Okay.
Well, you can most of the time. So there's classes running all throughout the day, and obviously the evening time ones are the best ones because people are getting off of work and getting out of college and out of the damn traffic and whatever, and they want to throw down on weights and cool stuff for like an hour. So I do classes at CSA, and I just have the CrossFit stuff membership. One half of the gym is all the combat stuff, like huge combat floor, bags, you name it. The other half is giant fitness rig, like CrossFit rig, huge open space, barbell stations like towards the wall, and like just equipment everywhere. And then there's like one small tiny section that's kind of devoted to just standard gym equipment, machines.
Dude, have you been
racks.
to the 24-hour fitness in Danville?
San Ramon?
I think so.
Is it like down? Is it kind of like in the Bishop Ranch area?
It's right next to the. It's either UPS or.
Yes. So
have you been there recently?
Yes.
It is fucking so sick.
I'm 3 miles from that. That was my home gym for the past 10 years.
Because dude, they just have like 10 Olympic lifting platforms.
Yeah, it's so good.
And they have a whole. I mean, they have a whole
new equipment.
You could do straight up CrossFit there, no problem.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's not weird or shunned upon at all to like go in there and like do CrossFit related looking elements. Before that, even though the gym was still pretty good, like
it was cool before. It was my favorite one, and then I went in there again, and I was like, holy shit! Because I go there sometimes if I work up there, I'll go there.
Damn,
and,
hit me up.
Yeah, I go early though.
How early?
Like 7.
Hit me up, man. Let's go work out together.
Yeah,
man.
let's
Sounds
do
like
it.
a good time. Sound like a date. Sorry, dude.
But
it's all good. I'll have my solo date down here.
Okay.
I like to work out by myself. I'm one of those people.
Oh, I thought you meant like wine and a little cheese.
Oh, no.
little
I mean, I will
TV.
do that right afterwards.
Oh man, I can't wait till I do that this week for Thanksgiving. So.
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving is the best.
Shane and I sort of do that on the like Saturday.
Yeah, that's what we do on Saturdays.
Just chill. Eat cheese.
Yeah. We have some beer, some wine, and some. That's our like go-in day. Are you? Well, you are on kind of a diet plan.
Ish. I just do intermittent fasting stuff. I think before I went on this tour, I was trying carb cycling. Just elements of which throughout the week your carbs would go up, and then they would just go back down to almost nothing, and then just helps your systems and your body just adapt to. Well, I can't have carbs, so it like forces it to get into using your fat reserves, essential fatty acids in your diet as your energy source. And then when carbs kick in, like, especially if you time it right with like big strength development days or something like that, then cool. I can bounce it back because now I have really good carbohydrate intake.
You don't eat carbs?
Right now it's like half. Like some days I kind of just keep it on a low. Days I know where I'm like doing a lot of big strength stuff, then I'm going to have a lot of
Dude, we were doing super
like
low carb. Like I was doing basically not very many at all. Just kind of like eating a lot of nuts, veggies.
So like 100 grams or less.
100 or less.
I was doing under
100
50 every day, which that's honestly my preferred diet.
It's fine.
That's
totally
my
fine.
go-to.
Yeah.
When I eat a bunch of bread and stuff, I don't feel good. And that's kind of where you get the older you get. Well, for me, if you're into healthy shit, then you just want to feel good all the time.
Yeah, right.
And I just like going for things that make me feel good, and it's not eating a lot of carbs.
Bread is not one of them.
Yeah, no.
Sorry to burst your bubble, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
mean, bread is really good when you're tasting it, or like all of that stuff when you're just
and if
eating
it's
it.
homemade by loving hands.
Yeah,
yes.
totally. But like once it's all said and done and it's sitting in your stomach, it just doesn't feel very good. And my preferred diet is just to eat really super low carb. And
I kind of like the paleo thing. It's like it's like moderate carb, but I'm not doing that now. I stopped doing it because of jiu-jitsu. I just felt like I
How long
wasn't.
have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
I've been doing it since August.
Ooh, okay.
So I just was, dude, I was getting so pummeled and I just felt like I didn't have enough like gas in me at all. Just because I was still eating a pretty good amount. I was eating like 3K calories a day, but it was no carbs really. And dude, I would just like at the end of like on our last round, it's like I just couldn't even do anything. Like it was brutal.
Yeah.
Well,
So
then it's important.
I legit like started drinking fucking Gatorade and stuff.
For the electrolytes and the
Yeah.
sugars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, I
And
don't
it
think
really
it's-
helped.
Yeah, I don't frown upon people who are like, I'm gonna have some of these certain drinks or certain types of foods now because
it really helped me out.
because your physical output is now like enormous and you have to fuel up. Like how
like with
like,
the low
you know.
carb thing, I would because I was like, oh, this will be fine. Like I go hard in the gym, it's whatever, you know. But you're not going on someone else's pace.
Yeah.
Like at jiu-jitsu, you got like a man on top of you, so you don't have the option to like take a quick second to breathe, or you know, it's like you got
coach looking over your shoulder too.
Yeah, you gotta like
do that certain maneuver again.
like
you know,
get off your back, dude. You know,
Yeah.
keep going, and it's like if
incentive to go harder, to be more like focused.
so
which is a good thing.
It's
you know?
still hard, but like at first it was so hard for me that like I would just come home and like ice pack. I mean, it was just I was pulverized.
Yeah.
But God, you probably
Now I can at least not, you know, I'm
you can hang. You can hang.
sort of,
Mm-hmm.
sort of, maybe
Conditioning's getting a little better, but you can,
a little bit.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
kind of feel it.
And you use less like it's just like the Olympic lifting or whatever. Like you, at first you're like muscling the whole way through, you know, and that's gonna
'Cause technique
waste
is all
a lot of
whack.
energy.
Yeah.
So then the more you get into it, the more technique you learn, and the less you know energy you gotta waste.
You get smarter. You become a lot more smarter, involving breathing and
All that
energy
stuff.
output, knowing
all
when to
that
go
stuff.
hard at a certain part and like when to back off. Like don't go hot. My biggest one I tell new people, or just even myself, a lot of the times, like don't go hard out the gate. Don't go hard out the gate. It's enticing because you want to see all these people in front of you kind of doing the same thing, and you're like, I can keep up too. In fact,
No, you
can't.
I'm kind of getting ahead of the pack
No, you
right
can't.
now, like doing.
Or you'll
whatever
see
the-
some mom up in there
just
yeah.
ripping it up,
Yeah,
and you're
you're
like, I can hang too.
Yeah.
And for a minute, when you're first starting, you're like, this is awesome. I feel like the
Until
best
you're
ever.
suffering the
round
next
2, round
day.
3,
Yeah.
goodbye. You
Right.
know,
Totally.
or
Conditioning's
if
out
you
the door.
come from like a bro workout background, you know, you're like have some muscles.
That
You know,
too.
you're like I fucking got this
Yeah.
shit, dude. It's like no, dude. It's
you have
totally
something,
different.
but
Yeah.
like, can
Yeah,
but
you
but-
have something.
But you have something,
It's
but
true.
like, does it involve endurance now? Like, can you
Right.
can you hang in like a 25-minute wad, 20-minute wad? Like, it doesn't matter if it's an 8-minute wad, because like if 8-minute wads, even though they're sprinters, can you go all out like at that like high of a rate, heart rate, strength output, all
Yeah,
that,
it's
you
crazy.
know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
as
it's
hard
a-
as you think you can.
Do
like,
you
it's still
work
tough.
out on tour a lot?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you go?
That's
do you
cool, man.
go to Planet Fitness like we do, or do you?
So if we have, so what I think we've kind of turned to doing nowadays, at least Rob and I, we'll kind of hit gyms on our day off because we have like time to kill, and we're like, oh, let's get some
like
movement
hit
in,
CrossFit gyms or
just regular commercial gym
Okay.
stuff. It's kind of nice though, but I do bring a barbell with me. I got some bumper plates now, like some
Oh,
iron
nice.
cast
Sick.
plates and stuff, like dumbbells. I like to buy a kettlebell, and I bring like a dump rope every now and then. It really comes down to sometimes just, do you have the energy to do it today? Like, go
Yeah,
for it,
yeah.
you know, like parking lot
I hear you.
workouts are some of my favorite, because then you get all the other members in the other
I
bands.
like it when it's in
looking-
summer, dude, and you
That's
get
true.
fucking super sweaty.
Yeah,
I love that
being,
shit.
I love
Spring,
being sweaty
summertime,
in a
yeah.
workout.
I like
yeah.
early fall stuff, you know, and then just big spot in the parking lot outside the venue. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull the barbell out and work on some cool shit. You know? And
that's sick.
just some nice. We call it getting the pump before the set.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
the
to
only thing that
look
sucks
and
about
feel
that
good
is
about
there's
yourself.
nowhere to shower.
Yeah.
So
That's the only
shitty
problem.
part.
So
That's why I don't work out at venues.
yeah,
and
so
only do it at the
I'm a
gym.
drummer. I'm perpetually sweaty.
Yeah,
like
it's like
90%
whatever
of the
I'm
tour,
doing.
95% of the tour. So I do this thing where I like hang up my sweaty drum clothing like in the trailer, kind of on like the walls and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That cleans it off.
Yeah.
It
Keeps it not smelling.
It dries it out.
You know what's my
No
favorite?
mold.
When I like stick my nose into Navene's clothes that are hung up in the trailer, and they just smell so great.
And it's wet.
Yeah.
It's in the face.
Oh my God, when we were on tour with Gorod and Beyond Creation, we were talking
Mm-hmm.
about, we were all on a bus together, and Gorod would take their stage clothes off and hang them at the top of the stairs when you walk up, because in the
So
the EU
gross.
and UK, the buses are double deckers, so you walk upstairs to get to your bunks. And one day,
So they would hang them up at the top of the staircase.
yeah,
sill.
on the railing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the railing.
Yeah.
Oh.
So one day I walked
Gross.
upstairs and grabbed the railing with my hand and couldn't see, and it was
Just
their
grab.
fucking sweaty, disgusting disgusting stage clothes that I had grabbed, my hands smelled like balls. It's like what
French
the
balls.
fuck? French balls too.
Euro balls. UK balls. French
Unshowered balls.
Sorry,
that's for
French
sure.
people, but
Sorry,
stereotype's
sorry,
real.
tour bus drivers. Jeez, you gotta deal with that.
that's
Clean up
horrible,
process when
dude.
the tour's done. Clean up the whole bus and stuff.
Disgusting.
I try to like keep my stage clothes. Like I remember because I'm learning, of course. Like
Mm-hmm.
on my first Europe tour ever, I was hanging up my drum clothes.
in your bunk.
I would bring hangers with me at least. But I
Yeah.
was hanging them up in the bunk on the sill, kind of where the curtain is and stuff.
Yeah.
And like at first it wasn't too bad, but 6 weeks, 7 weeks into a tour, it starts to build up if you're not changing your clothes out every now and then.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah,
So
it does.
disgusting.
So I try to learn to like at least try and put them in the storage bay down below where you put some of your suitcases.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
there.
If you throw
Yeah.
them close to, sometimes there's like engines down there. You can
the
throw them
heat
close to
will
that. And
actually
like,
heat them up
it-
and make them
Yeah.
nice. Also, if it's a cold
toasty.
winter,
Dude, I'm hip to that.
yeah, me too. Winter
yeah,
tours
everyone
too.
is too. I was just gonna. Okay, so we were on tour with Carnifex, and they wear like stage clothes, and it was in
Yeah.
the winter. They had just done a Warped tour in the summer, and they hadn't washed their stage clothes throughout all of Warped tour, and to take on tour with us.
Sean,
Yeah, so
oh, you're not
No,
cleaning any of
Corey
your shit.
threw
So-
his in a bag and just.
Corey,
they smelled like shit, and before
Smelled
the
so
shows, they
bad.
would take them out and put them on heaters in the backstage or hang them up, and it smelled
Disgusting.
so fucking bad.
Carnifex, boys, listen to me right now.
We
What
love
are you
y'all
doing?
though.
I love you, but this isn't good.
Wait, hey, none of them live in the Bay Area, right?
No, they all live in SoCal,
San Diego.
I believe. Yeah. I would love to have one of them.
I know. I was
on-
just thinking that'd be sick.
Yeah. But
They're like our best friends. They're such
Oh,
good
they're-
dudes. Yeah.
They're awesome.
such amazing guys. I fucking love those
All
guys
of them.
very much. I actually
Good
have
friends of
their
ours.
grinder right now.
Oh,
Just
snap!
Damn.
Nice.
look at that.
Yeah.
Still
Look at that
rocking that grinder.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna take a piss.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna ask some more questions. Do you
Let's
want
do
me
it.
to say it before you get here?
Do you need anything while I'm up?
I'm locked and loaded.
Yeah,
man.
all right.
I'm good.
Water. I
Protein shake,
I
You
have
got that
water,
protein
shake,
shake?
water, and I just had your coffee.
What kind of protein shake do you have?
I have. I just run. What's it called? It's like
He's running it.
BPI. I think it's
Oh, yeah, yeah.
BPI brand. Just vanilla.
Oh yeah,
creatine in this
I
thing.
like
Yeah.
vanillas.
You don't drink, right?
Not very often. It's
All right.
it's kind of rare. But when
Well,
I
there's
do,
a beer there if you want to drink it. It's right there. Break your fast or whatever.
maybe later. Maybe later. But thank
Break
you.
that
Yeah.
beer fast. Okay, so
Break a beer fast.
yeah, let me see if there are any.
I'm gonna put these drinks on display to show that I'm a very healthy guy. And then you have this one loose battery right over
Yeah.
here.
Make
No.
everyone. We're all
Yeah,
very
and
healthy people. here.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put. You have a loose battery just chilling, so I'm gonna just put it on top of my thing.
There
and
you
then
go.
Let's see if I
Look,
forget.
that's magic.
Okay.
Not Magic the Gathering. But
Not Magic the
just
Gathering.
Plain magic.
plain
Yeah.
magic.
So, are you guys writing right now or anything?
We kind of are like under the table. We're we're writing stuff right now.
That's cool.
I'm pretty sure Scott, Antonio, and Nico already had like some hangout sessions down in LA to just hang out and be bros, but then also do some writing. And they did some session, like at least a big hangout session before this tour, and then one pretty recently as soon as we came home too.
Oh, that's cool.
Just it happened. There we go.
Not magic.
That might have been
no
me, though.
longer
Yeah.
magical.
But
So, who lives in LA?
so Scott lives in LA.
Oh, okay.
He lives down there right now. He's been down there for a couple of years, and then
He's from up here, though, right?
yeah. So he actually was when we were growing up in high school. One of the reasons why I think we just became some pretty well-rounded musicians. We had options to practice all the time because he lived just a few miles away from my house.
Oh, yeah,
So during
that's-
summertime, the weekends,
Just
he would
rip
literally just come to my house. I practice in my garage still to this day, and we would just do like some of our favorite things back in the day was just do some sick one-on-one jams, practice some cool shit. You ever do metal jams? Just
Dude.
metal things that just came to your head and just
Yes.
rip it for a
Isn't
while.
that how you used to write shit with animosity for the most part?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Not really.
I thought you guys did do that.
Yeah, improv DM.
Yeah,
Yeah.
improv death metal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
fun. Him and I would do that shit all the time. Rob and I used to do that all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time. And, he's known for being a really, really good, just solid rhythm guitar player.
Yeah.
Him and I got our one-on-ones down a whole lot, at least a couple times a week even.
Yeah.
And our favorite thing would do was just do that and stomp food and then play Halo and then go back in the garage and do some more.
Hell
and then
yeah,
he'd
man.
break off and then we'd probably play online that evening or something like that
Yeah.
together and talk about whatever weird shit and just be funny dudes. Scott and
Yeah.
I would do that.
That shit is
Rob and I
sick,
did that.
man.
Good times, man.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
life.
I do miss that, like the old school, just going and kind of jamming.
Let's just jam. Yeah.
I
Let's
love
play like
that
3 of our
shit.
songs and just jam some cool shit.
Yeah.
Falluja's been known for doing really good jammy, like jammy practice elements and stuff, even to the point where like a few of them got filmed.
Oh yeah, I was
And
gonna
I
say
think-
you should track some of that shit.
Yeah,
dude.
and if you actually go on YouTube right now, there's still some old footage of us like back in like 2009 and 10, I think, of us just jamming in my garage, 4 or 5 songs of just things that we just whipped out of our asses. And
That's
they
sick.
Sound really cool, like intronauty, atmospheric-y, jammy,
That's awesome.
groovy
Yeah.
kind of stuff, you know.
That's kind of the direction that you guys are going in more, though, right?
Kind of like we've been going in that direction, I think, for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
I
course,
think so
of
you
course,
too.
yeah.
And then
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
Harvest Wombs was like here's our like this is what we're here to do, and then
Mm-hmm.
Flesh Prevails, Dreamless, Blossoming Effects,
Yep.
and now
Totally.
Undying Light is like, okay, here's what do you call it? Like here's what happens when a flower goes through the fall season. The colors
yeah.
change.
Okay, I like
There we
that.
go.
Thorns
Cool.
coming out. Like
Yeah.
the roots are different now.
Yeah.
Leaves are falling. You know.
Still very,
Very cool.
obviously the
Very
same
cool.
band.
Yes.
Like that is
Yeah.
one thing that I think you guys did really well is, and you know, we were talking about it earlier. It's like, as far as the musicality, it's still the same band. It doesn't really sound like a different band, which I think a lot of the times when a new vocalist comes in, because changing the vocalist,
It's hard to do, man.
it's very hard
Yeah,
to
hard to
do.
do.
The voice.
Yeah,
is
it's
different
the
now.
voice. It's the person who is kind of the face of your band a
Yeah.
lot of the time, and it's a really hard thing to do. And I think you guys just did it really
Thank you.
gracefully.
Yeah.
And the music is just still evolving, and it's cool because I don't think that. While I think that there are bands that you fit in with, you guys don't sound like. I can't name another band that you sound like, and it's.
I know, and
that's a good thing.
And but when we first started out with the leper colony stuff and like the Harvest Wombs, like we got huge, just direct correlations from fans about, it sounds like Faceless or a bit of
Right.
Animosity in some
Right.
sense or another, or like Through the Eyes of the Dead or Necrophagist is
Yeah.
a big one, and then
of course,
I think
we all sound like them no matter what
yeah,
we sound
yeah,
like, right?
yeah.
It's
So
like-
the founding,
If you're
are-
sick.
are- yeah, if you're sick, if you're sick. Certain founding fathers, so to
Yeah,
speak.
of course.
But then as we got more stuff out, now it's just hard to, because I'm kind of in the same boat. I can't really name off the top of my head or really think well enough. Like, who do we sound similar to?
Like, what year did you guys kind of start?
Like just start like at the
Yeah.
beginning, the
Yeah,
very beginning.
yeah.
2007.
Okay.
So we've been around for at least 11
So that was like,
years.
yeah, about Animosity time.
Oh yeah,
We were a
that's
band.
about when you guys
Keynote.
broke up.
We
Um,
played with you guys, right?
no.
I feel like you guys opened one show.
I would remember.
Okay.
Because I fucking loved Animosity. Actually,
right.
my very first metal show, I've never actually had a chance to do this before.
I know.
I'm
We've
happy to do
never
this now.
actually really hung out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm glad we're doing it now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just say it here. The very first real metal show I ever went to was the Sanctity of Brothers tour with Rob went there too, and I didn't know him at the time either. You guys unearthed Through the Eyes of the Dead, Terror.
Yeah, yeah.
We were just talking
we were
about
talking
that
about
tour
Yeah.
with Rob.
I went to the Fillmore show too, but I showed up at this. I showed up at your set towards the last half. You guys were playing one more song,
Yeah.
and like half of a set as I walked in, and that's like the first real taste of seeing just metal live, and then seeing you play.
Wow.
I think you had long hair.
Yeah, I did.
Was it like? Did you have like short hair?
Yeah, it was
cut
like
here, though?
it was
Like-
it
was like a
wasn't
bob.
cut. It was like just growing out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember like watching just that one song, being like, I think he's my age, right? Yeah. Like I want to do that too.
Yeah,
you
yeah. I
know?
was young, man. I was young.
That's
And
sick.
at that time too, I was I don't know if they'll ever watch this, but shout out to Unearth. Like they were one of
Oh, yeah.
my biggest hallmark, like I need to get into metal kind of metal bands.
Bleeding
Dude, when
Through is
Animosity-
one of mine.
When we
so-
got on that tour, it was like all the other bands that were, in our
Mm-hmm.
genre, they were like, dude, congrats. Because that was like one of the first metal tours that was going to House of Blues, being booked in bigger venues.
Medium capacity to large venue
yeah.
kind of thing. Where
So
you're like,
it was
oh my God,
one
they're
of the
packing
first
in.
one of
Yeah.
those types of tours.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, yeah, it was cool. So,
That's been amazing, dude.
Yeah.
That was 2005, 2006 or something like that.
probably.
I think it was 2005. I remember. 'cause
I was probably 22.
Okay.
So let's see. Yeah, it was.
I was.
Maybe I was 21.
I think I was 15, 16 in high school, and I was just getting into
Damn, that's
Kill Switch
rad.
Engage.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
As
See,
I
I'm
Lay
just, like,
Dying,
one
got Bleeding
generation.
through.
As I Lay Dying, I loved Kill
On
Switch
Earth.
too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just like one gen older than you, I guess.
Yeah,
think
because
so.
I'm 31 and Navene's 34, so I'm like
Okay.
right in the, I'm a
Yeah.
little closer to
Just a
your
bit under,
generation,
you know?
I would say. But
I'm gonna be
That's crazy that you were
soon.
there.
Hi,
That's
guys.
hilarious.
I get
Yeah.
to be with you guys
well, that's why
now.
we were telling you earlier that being 30 is so cool because it's like, dude, you spend your whole 20s kind of figuring out who you are. I had like a mid-20s crisis where I was just like, you know,
I had
where
one
am I
too.
going? Yeah.
Yeah.
Quarter life crisis.
What am I doing? I
Yeah.
got into contract work and construction stuff too when I was like about 25. 'Cause
Okay.
even though Fallujah was like
Yeah.
touring pretty often and we were making some sort of money, I was like, this is still not enough to be
Yeah.
Yeah.
making a
Do
living
you
off
still
of.
do
And
that kind of stuff when you're home?
I do not know, but I still got my tools in the garage and
Nice.
I'm
So when you're home, you don't have a side hustle?
so when I'm home, so I got a couple. My more like if you saw my car, I don't know if you saw it yet, but
haven't seen it.
so I do rideshare in my free
cool.
time because I love telling. I say this like 1,000 times every week when I do driving stuff of any kind. But when I pick up people, they're like, "What do you do on the side?" It's like, "Oh, I'm actually a full-time musician.
Yeah,
I just like having this job."
A lot of
because-
band people do that.
Yeah,
I know a
because,
lot of guys who do that.
You essentially just push a button and you're online for however long you need to be, like
Yeah,
an
it's
hour one day
it's so
or
perfect.
yesterday
It's so
or
perfect.
last night. I got on at like 4 and I was on till like about 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I went right home, and went to bed. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
like
that's
just
chill.
pure flexibility.
Because why not? I mean,
you
if
know?
you're home, what are you gonna just fucking? I mean, I know you sitting around and play video games. Like, I'd rather go at least do something on the side when I
Yeah.
was home, even if you're making enough to cover your expenses off of your band.
Yeah.
Why not?
That's
do
the
something
thing
like
that I say. It's like, even if all of our artistic endeavors are paying for our living situation, I still like to work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
try to
like
work.
making money, and I want to have money when
Who
I'm
doesn't
an
want
old
to make
person.
extra money
Yeah,
to fill your
I
pockets
love
and cover more
making money.
stuff and
Yeah.
getting this nice thing or that?
And you know, and
Exactly.
tour it becomes that
$100
much more-
groceries.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, you never have to worry about, like, we went out this desk for podcasting. We just went to IKEA one day and we're like, okay, we're dropping $350 on this today. That's
fine.
fine
It's a
because
nice
we
table, man.
have
Yeah.
enough money for it. Yeah.
Whatever.
Afford it.
So, you know, I like making money.
Same.
Love
Same,
it.
same. We all
But
do.
yeah, obviously, right now I feel like I work more than I would want to. To be honest,
Yeah, me too.
You cranking like a standard 40-hour work week kind of thing, or is
it really
more than that?
depends
Mhm.
on the week. But yeah, it's probably something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I work about
for both
40
of us.
hours, yeah.
So
What do you
it's,
do for work again?
I do real estate photos, and I'm also like a CNA.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so
Cool,
I
cool.
have a few in-home clients,
Mm-hmm.
and they're people who I've been with. One of my clients is really into progressive metal and knew
Okay.
about our band before
Oh, great.
I
Even
yeah,
better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he like,
that was
knows some
cool.
of our friends and stuff too. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, so
Amazing.
that, and I've got 2 other clients doing that, and then like I said, I take real estate photos, and I'm sure you can see all of our merch over there. I run our merch store, so that's like a very time-consuming
yeah.
job.
Yeah.
So a lot of shit. It's just kind of like you said, it's getting a bunch of different jobs. I don't
That's kinda
like
what it's
doing
all
one
about,
thing
yeah.
for 40 hours
Just
a
like-
week. That's
Yeah.
just not my thing.
Some people can do it.
Yeah,
others,
some people
like,
can.
Many of
I
us
can't.
can't. You know?
I can't.
I don't know. Like, it really has to depend on the type of job I would have to be like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna work 40 hours this week, and I don't mind it because
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get home and still practice or the weekends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think at this day and age, musicians have really, really adopted the side hustle, like gig economy
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
environment.
Totally.
It's
you know?
cool. And I think it's if you can get by doing like lessons and stuff within music, that's fucking even
You
cooler.
can work within the music
Yeah,
field
that's even
already,
cooler,
or
yeah.
Yeah.
just work within your engineering field already, or
Yeah.
some, creativity. Like,
That's totally cool.
Yeah.
so the other side gigs I was about to say, like, I'm trying to climb into a bit of doing session work stuff,
Yeah.
specifically studio environment things, just
Oh,
because
yeah.
I've done so many albums with Fallujah, and I've worked with both, shout out to Zach Oren
and Mark,
Oh, yeah.
right?
and Mark Lewis. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good dudes.
The boys.
Yeah,
Wait,
the
you,
boys.
you go out to Nashville and record with Mark, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fly
Okay.
out. He's got the whole kit ready to
And
go.
you did Undying Light at his house, right?
Undying Light was done in a studio
Oh, okay.
in Nashville, but we did.
Oh yeah, because you did that before I did the Whitechapel thing.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
he was showing me the stuff when I was out.
And then Audio Hammer, we went there to record
got it.
Dreamless. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
But it's essentially another home, and I actually recorded in that cool kitchen living room combination, like big.
Yeah, I haven't
tall
been
ceiling.
there.
Okay.
Audio Hammer.
It's a cool place.
Yeah.
It's actually a multitude of different locations in like short proximity, and then
That's
they
what I've
just
heard.
have like bought out a few of those homes and just retrofitted them into full blown studios, and there's like a bunk system and stuff so people can like stay there if they need to.
Oh, that's
We
very
ended-
cool.
so fucking
Very
It was super cool. We ended
Yeah.
up just actually staying with Mark at his actual apartment, like super close by when we did the Dreamless one, and then Same thing again for when we did Undying Light. We just
yeah, because I just remember now he had just done that before I was out there when we did the Whitechapel thing.
Right.
So he was talking like, "Oh yeah, were you?" Oh, now that I think about it, he pointed out the studio that you guys recorded at. It was right down the street from where we were recording.
Oh, okay, sweet.
It was like right on that main drag. And he was like, "Yeah, we would go over here and eat and go
There's
over
bars down the street, good places to eat and stuff.
Go to Losers. And
Nashville is the shit, man. I love Nashville. It's like the Bachelorette capital of the world.
It's really cool out there.
Yeah, Nashville
love it.
fucking rules.
Love it. Yeah, we've spent quite a bit of time there just because Evan is from there. So just, we'd go there before tours and practice and shit.
Oh yeah.
Love that place. But so is the whole band going to track? Everyone tracked?
So the last album for Undying Light, Scott and I went out there. We went out there first. Got drums done within a week.
Are you doing it like the old school way? Like he's playing guitars. He's playing guitar with you.
So he's
scratch tracks.
Scott's the primary writer. So he does a lot of stuff at home, and we have a lot of the scratch tracks and the guitar stuff just ready to go for me, and then we just make clicks. Just drum programs to get me by, and then we'll at least do a few sessions of hanging out together just on the computer alone, humanizing the drums to like my abilities or whatever. Like we'll come to an agreement on certain things, and then we just do that. We try and do that months and months ahead of time for when I'm about to go record, so I have plenty of time to just be at home, spend time behind my kit, and then get things done.
There's a huge difference between the demo and then when you actually go in.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like little stuff changes, but it actually amounts to a lot.
A lot. It really does. Yeah.
Of course.
Just little stuff.
I mean, when you program drums, it's just like you said, it's not that there's no human playing. It's not all stuff that you can do.
It's just things that come to their mind at the time.
Yeah, that.
Because everyone writes differently. Everyone like engages with the music and stuff differently. So
for you guys, it's like, oh, this part's going to be, is it super structured or is it like, okay, this part's a blast beat, this part's a thrash beat, this part's kind of
it's
like that?
pretty well structured, I'd have to say. But then again, the cool part is like when I work with Scott, he sends us stuff just throughout the months, just small snippets or like full blown sections, not full songs, but like most of it like covered. And he's like, I'm trying to still figure out like a couple things for these certain parts here and there because I can't figure out what I want it to do, like matching guitar. Do I want your kicks to match the bass or something like that, And then I at least try and figure out things on my own. And then we meet together and then we try and like come up with a solution for those together. And then, okay, here's the actual final version we worked on together. Now I'm taking that home with me. Now I have more time to practice that specific final element, the edit of the song, and then gets me prepared to go.
And I know
studio.
that Mark kind of helps out a little bit, right? Like at the very end.
A little bit
small, here and there.
Small, tiny things. Yeah.
He did that with Whitechapel. Try it on the China.
Try this and that. Yeah.
So when you guys fly out, do you already have vocals demoed? Are you writing with vocals in mind, or what's that?
We save. So for Undying Light, I'm pretty sure Antonio and Rob worked on a bunch of lyrics. Scott helped too, but he flew in after I did, and then they would do a lot of the vocal bracket stuff together in the studio. So I was there for like a week, and then Antonio flew out just as I was leaving to go work on them together for like probably about a week.
And you guys tracked with Mark the vocals?
Yes,
cool.
drums and vocals, guitars, bass. Scott and Rob and all of them can essentially do that like at his own.
And then reamps with Mark. Okay,
yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's sick. We've been because of the way that Navene tracked with Mark with Whitechapel, their stuff's like super vocal centric. So we've been talking like we've got a good like 20 minutes worth of material written for our next release, but we're going to go back through and I'm going to demo out vocals. Ooh. And then we're going to start like moving stuff around to fit the vocals a little more, just kind of produce from there. And then maybe track vocals first. I'm not sure how we're going to approach that yet, but it's just kind of cool.
Sort of go around that.
Yeah.
Because that's how, that's actually how Whitechapel did their last album. They did demos, and then they knocked out vocals and guitar, and then drums were actually last.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting.
Which was pretty cool, because sometimes the drums, especially if you're me, like they get way too busy. And it's like, if that's already laid down, then the vocalist or whatever, anybody who wants their chance to do their shining, it's hogged up with crazy drum fills.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or just weird
filling
parts,
the gap, I call it. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm overplay. sometimes.
Yeah. I honestly think it's cool to just try different ways to track
Yeah,
a lot.
absolutely.
Just because, you know, it's always, I'm sure it's been this way since you were a kid. It's like drums, then with scratch guitars and then bass, or it's usually guitars, but then bass, and then
Pretty much.
vocals come kind of last along with solos. I don't know. Since Scott's your main songwriter, you guys might have solos ahead of time because he's the solo guy in your band as well, right?
He is.
Yeah.
I think it's like a mixture of sorts. I think he like mixed them up like a mixture of like on the spot / like he's been working on certain elements of these solos like a month ago kind of thing. you know? Like,
it's cool. He's got a voice. He's like, you can tell it's Scott playing.
it's
for
absolutely
sure.
Scott playing. He's
Yeah.
got his own his own signature like feel and like
I call it like whale sounds, you know, because it's like meow, meow, in a good way.
great
I like
vibrato,
it. Yeah.
whammy bar stuff.
Yeah, it's like whale sound guitars. But
Yeah, that's killer.
all right, we've got a couple more questions, y'all. How long have we been talking for?
We're rolling 125.
Dang, we always go way long with these podcasts. It's
Kind of
weird.
good though.
It's cool.
cool,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
I love
Chilling.
this shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another serious one.
Uh-oh.
Sean, well, it's not that serious, but we kind of touched on it last week. Sean asked, with the way the internet / digital age is going and will ultimately progress further, do you think live shows will ever die out? Do you think live shows will be a thing in the future? I've thought about this a lot, and I can't ever imagine a future where live shows don't exist. At least I hope not. But with the digital age becoming ever more advanced, who knows what could happen? What do you guys think?
I think, no. We're going to have live shows for a while.
I agree.
I think so too.
Mhm.
You can't. You can be. It's one thing being an internet-based sensation and doing things at home in your studio. At some point, people want to see the product live.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
They do.
And even if attendance levels as time goes on, slowly but surely shortens, like you're still going to be doing showcases of some kind, small venue,
Totally.
like something. Like I don't think shows are going to go away. I think they're going to change, but I don't think they're going to go away.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I honestly think that all of this internet stuff just leads to better shows, more people attending, because we were talking about this earlier, because you were talking about streaming on Twitch, and you were talking about Alex Bent, who like puts his shows on Twitch. He'll
Practices,
Yeah.
like studio stuff. Shout out to Alex, by the way. I
Yeah.
hope he sees this.
Actually,
and
I think he's from around here.
I think
Bent?
so.
Yeah.
I think he's from like Sacramento or something.
Yeah.
I might have to double
I just
check.
think
Yeah, I don't
everyone's from
know.
here.
I could have sworn he was.
He was
still
in
back.
Archaic.
Yes. Well, he did stuff for Archaic for like a minute. I don't know.
Well, when we first moved to
'Cause-
Santa Cruz, he was here for some reason.
Oh,
Remember?
really?
We hung out with him.
Interesting.
I think he's actually
I
still
can't
in the
remember
Central
that.
Valley, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta get a hold of that guy.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Alex.
Alex, what's up, man? I miss you.
But I mean, people are already doing the streaming of live shows thing. It's not like we're about to enter this new realm
No,
of it's
no.
happening.
And
It's been
everyone
happening.
everyone knows that going there and fully getting all your senses, berated is different than watching it online.
Totally.
It just is.
Totally. It's way
So-
different. And it's cool to like see those people in real life who you look up to or admire. And I don't know. I probably will never stop going to shows, even though I have gone to less over time, just
Same.
as a product
Yeah.
of being
It'll be
an older
less, but
person.
people will go.
Yeah.
I mean, at least for the next, foreseeable future. Because I was doing my solo thing. I was opening up for Animals and Tesseract, and I was kind of like, whatever, dude, it's the future. Just play by yourself and blah, 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 do like the futuristic thing. But I remember one night I was watching Animals and then Tesseract, and I remember just thinking, like, I had this epiphany. I was like, people, the need to see multiple people making music together in real time is something that will never go away.
Right.
And it's something that people just inherently want to watch. And it adds a different layer than watching one guy do some sort of performance, which is really cool. You have all these futuristic performances of people playing by themselves and doing synth stuff and whatever, multi-instrumentalist. But I don't think that anything can take the place of watching multiple humans make music together.
I don't either. There's like a chemistry that comes along with seeing people on stage and kind of vibe off of each other. And that's the kind of music I really like to go see live is it's a little bit unexpected.
Yeah,
and
you
it's
feel
people jamming.
You do.
Yeah.
Feel it.
Yeah, you feel it. It's different.
And it's not going away.
I don't think so.
anytime soon anymore.
I don't think it'll go away.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till
So,
there's
yeah,
like
that's the
robots
answer.
or whatever.
Even then, I'd rather see.
What if the robots were super sick?
I'm sure there are. Well,
I see
wasn't
it.
there? There's like a programmed robot thing out right now where a band of
There's
robots
a couple
are
bands that are doing like
Robot
robot
There's a
band.
square pusher one.
playing. Yeah, there's a square
Yeah.
pusher one, and it's not as cool to watch as a human.
It shit bored the hell out of me. I watched
Yeah.
it online. I was like, I don't really care.
Not that cool.
So yeah, I mean, you know how
Yeah.
it is when you get hit with, you see some band or whatever, and it just hits you the right way. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, no, there's nothing like it.
It's just all there is to it.
I don't know. Seeing bands live has just completely like changed my life on several occasions.
Right.
So,
Totally.
and I don't know, watching internet performances, for instance, Code Orange, the reason that I started being super into that band was because I saw a video of them playing This Is Hardcore like 5 or 6 years ago, and they just tore shit up.
Yeah.
But
But you're thinking
but
like, wow, that's so sick.
I
wonder
can't
what it would
wait
be
to
like
see
if I
them.
was there.
Yeah, exactly.
you know?
So yeah, I don't think that's ever gonna go away.
So
no.
fortunately, yeah, that's good for us.
It's gonna be around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah,
we
definitely
can
good
bank
for
on
us.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys going on tour anytime soon?
We're doing Mexico the one final weekend before Christmas.
nice.
Christmas
Sick.
kicks in.
Yeah,
Just 3 days.
that's sick. Yeah,
it's
we
gonna be a
went
headliner.
in May, I think. Right? We went to Mexico in May.
Yeah, we played that Domination Mexico festival.
How was that?
It was
fucking
amazing.
sick.
Kiss was headlining.
Oh my
so
God.
it was fucking crazy. There were like
was
75,000 people there.
So fun.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
It's just
Super cool.
Didn't like Kiss's set though, honestly.
Kiss is
I was a
terrible.
little like, fuck Kiss.
The boys are getting a little tired.
Yeah, a little tired and a little, yeah. But I like
They're
Kiss's
still here,
music.
though.
Detroit Rock City, one of my favorite movies. But
Nice.
yeah. So
I'm sure you guys have gone to Mexico before, right?
We've gone
Yeah.
we've gone once, and that was to do a single show with Intranet.
Okay.
And,
sick.
And that was still a good time. That was still
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Love
Essentially,
those
like
guys.
Where'd you go?
just Mexico City.
So
Sick.
you all flew down there.
We flew down there
Yeah.
and just flew back out.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we're going to be doing the same thing, I'm pretty sure, for all of Mexico. Just fly in. I don't have the actual dates, but I know Mexico City and Monterrey.
sick,
Monterey is
man.
really cool.
That's
Okay.
amazing.
I've not been.
And
I mean,
Animosity
they
played
just
there
love
back in
music
the day.
so fucking much.
Mm-hmm.
There in Mexico, there were people. I mean, Domination Mexico is a huge festival, but there were literally people waiting at the airport to get autographs, and they knew who we were when
Yeah.
we showed up. That's how much they love music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a testament to us being big. That's
No,
a
it's a testament to them.
Yeah.
Restrictive like elements of like we can't get our favorite bands to come to our
Yeah.
country often.
Yeah.
So whenever you do, this might be our only time to see you guys for a long time. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
people just show up. Yeah. We got that same kind of vibe when we played in Russia for the first time.
Oh yeah.
We played
That's when you're like, I'm fucking far from home.
I was very far from home. Yeah. Moscow and St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg was pretty small. I think it was a weekday we played, but Moscow was lit. And
That's sick, man.
we had like one opening band and then us headline. Even though it was like a 400 capacity room, kind of. I must have spent like a half an hour, 45 minutes after our set just signing everything
Yeah.
they brought to you,
Yeah.
you know, because they were like, we don't know when you're going to come back. I was like, I don't know either. Really.
Yeah. No
Like,
shit.
come here, let me sign my
How sick
9
is that
sticks.
though?
Let me
Fucking,
That's
1, 2, 3, 4,
amazing.
5, you know,
like
so.
playing in Russia, that's so fucking
I
cool.
still
incredible.
haven't. I
I
can't wait to do
I was
that.
I remember being brutalized by a horrible like winter, just cold of some kind. Like I lost my voice for like 3 weeks and I had to come
Was it
home.
winter when you guys went?
Yeah.
I know.
So it was like the weather was so
Brutal.
snowy and brutally cold. I think it was like almost 0 degrees
Ooh.
with that wind chill that was below that, you
Oh
know.
my God,
And I'm
yeah.
always already like trying to fight a cold,
Mm-hmm.
head spinning and bad throat, coughing. So
Okay.
already being out there was like
Not the best time.
it's not the best. Plus, you're playing a show, and
Yeah.
we're drummers, and your body has no rest except for when you get sleep next. You know, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that sucks about being a drummer is they'll be like,
yep.
How much
all
gear
right,
you have
as
to
soon
set
as
up
you're
every
done,
night?
put your shit outside, and you're like soaking wet. You know that I'm sure that happens. Yeah.
Many times. I
"Yeah,
actually
I'm wet and I'm in a shirt
Yeah.
and fucking shorts.
And you have
let me change my
the
t-shirt
most
to put on
gear.
a warm coat that I don't need on right now to go outside and then freeze to death.
yeah.
Covered in my sweat.
What I started
Yeah.
doing is just keeping my huge jacket with the cases.
Stage side, ready to go. Yeah.
So They're like, go
yourself
outside.
down.
I'm just like, cool, man. Boom, and then throw that thing on.
Just throw that thing on.
All good.
Oh, yeah.
Suck it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you
Parka.
you got to do what you got to do, but that's how you also get sick. And
Yeah.
I
So
freaking
true.
I
hate
get
that.
sick on every winter tour.
Me
every
too.
winter tour.
Me
Every
too.
winter.
I thankfully have gotten sick on maybe half of them.
Yeah.
The winter ones.
always
That's
fucking-
lucky. I for
fall
sure
victim.
never get sick on any summer tour, but every winter tour I am sick on.
Every winter tour.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's cold stuff.
Brutalized.
Yeah, and for me it fucks up my instrument, so that's a whole
It
nother
does,
thing that I
yeah.
have to battle.
Mhm.
I get really weird about going on stage when I can't hit my range.
Mhm.
I just don't like it at all, obviously, because I feel like I'm being inhibited. But
Kind of demoralizing too, huh?
yeah, it is, because I know I sound like shit, and
Like,
I know
can
that
play
I'm mixed very
so
high.
Much better, yeah. And
Yeah.
you're like, I can't do that right now because I'm literally held back by a cold
Yeah.
or a flu or something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's the thing of I don't know when I'm going to be back in this place, and this is these people's impression of me. This really sucks. But you go out there and kind of hit it to the best you can. We're on tour for 30 days straight usually. People may
many
not
days
realize
off.
that. Yeah,
Maybe one
not
day
many
off.
days off.
Yeah.
But speaking of sickness, we know that you've had your bouts with some brutal,
I was
Illness.
down with the sickness.
right?
Yeah.
It was bad.
Disturbed.
It was disturbing.
Yeah.
Um,
How many years have you been in remission for?
7 now.
Damn,
And,
congratulations,
thank
man.
you.
Yeah.
It's been, I'll be very, very happy when I get to the 10-year mark. Although I'm pretty sure everything's fine now.
Mhm.
But,
Yeah.
I got diagnosed in 2012, non-seminoma, like stage 2 testicular cancer.
Holy
so,
shit.
Jeez.
And there's 2 types. There's seminoma and non-seminoma. And I guess the non-seminoma is like a slightly more aggressive version. So it just happened fast, like within a span of like a few months.
That seems
So
pretty
Wow.
young.
I was 20 when it happened. So
Wow.
I just turned 20. I'm trying to think. 20? No, I was 21. I just turned 22 in the middle. So I had to go through chemo. I had to have a few surgeries. I didn't have radiation.
Okay.
Although I don't know which one's the lesser of the 2 evils because it's all bad. But
Yeah.
I remember my birthday was like middle April and I was just going through like a whole bout of chemo and I was like, oh, happy birthday to me.
Yeah.
Here we fucking go. But so I got diagnosed. I think it was like January of 2012. I just came home from a tour. I'm pretty sure it was like us and Aegeon. You remember those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. I fucking love
The
Aegeon.
vocalist is in The Faceless now, right?
Yes.
like fills
at
in
the,
for
at the
them.
time, there was a different vocalist.
Okay.
Also really good. But I love the Aegeon guys. That was a good tour. It was just like 3 weeks. 5 months before that, I remember. So I was doing Krav Maga at the time.
Okay.
I felt like it was because it's not the reason why. I thought at the time because I started developing something. It was the one day I didn't wear a cup to Krav and I got soccer punched in the nuts.
Okay. So
by
you're
a
like,
soccer
okay.
mom.
Fuck.
And then when it happened, I was like, oh, okay, here it comes in the offset, like slow build up of the pain coming.
Yeah.
I thought initially what happened was I was gonna go leave for Krav, and I remember like just I don't know if it's TMI, but
Oh, no, it's all good.
like a bunch of throbbing
Yeah.
elements, throbbing buildup like in my groin
Yeah.
on that specific testicle, and it
So
kind
there
of
was actual like pain involved.
like
that's
pain,
what-
like a
that's
throbby kind of weird. Oh, why is this?
Uh-huh.
Why does my groin feel so like uncomfortable right now, kind of thing? And
Gotcha.
I remember like just sitting on my couch, and I was like, I should get ready to go, and then it just started happening, and I was like, why does my groin feel so freaking weird? So like I was literally gonna go change, and I went to the bathroom and I checked, and for some reason my left testicle kind of grew a bit in size on like average testicle size should be about the size of a grape, if not a little bigger. But this one looked like it grew to a pretty hefty size at the time.
Like quickly? How long did you?
It might have happened over time, but at the time that this happened, it felt like it just was starting at that point.
Right.
But it was like a bunch of throbbing in that area. I couldn't really get up and do a whole lot, so I remember just like, okay, I'm not gonna do Krav. I'm just gonna ice my groin, I guess, and just hang out.
So you're thinking maybe something got like.
I thought something happened involving like
Yeah,
a sports accident,
Yeah,
like getting clocked in the nuts by a soccer mom or something.
Totally, yeah.
A Krav thing,
Yeah.
like light
Yeah,
humor.
yeah.
Like, oh, it's like I'm cool. I just need to be careful or something. So
Right.
but it just didn't go away, and then
it didn't go away for that night, and then the throbbing went away, but the size didn't diminish. It stayed that way, and it probably even grew over like the next 5 months. I remember going on tour, doing that Aegeon thing, with Fallujah, still having an enlarged testicle. And what scared me the most was I was like, why am I not getting any pain right now? Like, why is it painless, you know? And why is it bulky? And, you know, keynote, check your nuts, guys.
Yeah, I know. I've actually, I went to the hospital
boobs.
for that.
Yeah, check your boobs and your nuts.
Because I have some growths down there. TMI.
That's fine. No, that's fine.
And I went and got it checked out. They did, and I went to they did an ultrasound or whatever on it. They put it's kind of funny when I tell people the story.
Right.
It's like they make you take your nuts out and put 2 towels like to cover everything else up.
And they scan it, right? They probe
they
it.
put gel on it and like scan it up.
They did exactly that for me too.
Yeah, and so for mine it was like, oh, this is just some whatever. It's like it's hard. I don't know what they call it exactly, but it's just some weird thing that happens to some
gel
people.
thing.
Like the growths or whatever. So they're just like, yeah, you can just leave it or whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. It's not cancerous.
Essentially benign.
Benign.
It's probably fine if you left it, although it wouldn't hurt to get them out either, kind of thing. Yeah.
They didn't even recommend that. They were just like, that's a thing that happens to some people. There
and it's
is.
very normal. Okay.
Yeah.
So if
like,
they weren't worried,
cool.
then it's a cause for being like, okay, so if they're not worried, I shouldn't be too worried.
Because
I
was like, okay, dude, I'm screwed here. Because it seems weird, you know, definitely. So
it scared the crap out of you, huh?
Definitely.
Like I want to.
It's been there for a lot of years, though.
Okay.
You know. So anyway.
Yeah. So it was like 5 months before I went on tour, and then I came home, and as I got home from that tour, still nothing seemed to alleviate itself, and I was like, this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. I'm just gonna suck up my pride, like get a checkup, talk to my doctor,
because it's like you're scared to go. You know?
Well, a lot of guys are afraid to talk about their balls as well, or like stuff that's going wrong with themselves. It it has to do. Yeah, it's a thing.
So I sucked it up, and I just set an appointment. Everything else about me was totally fine. Like I was doing Krav and just gym workout stuff, and I was a young dude. Like my doctor was like, yeah, you're healthy. What's going on over here? Something about your groin. I was like, yeah, you want to take a look? Like, because I can't.
That is weird because you're so young at the time.
I'm so young, and I don't know anything about anything because So I was like, could you just take a look at this one trouble spot around my groin area? It's essentially my testicle, and it seemed to have grown. More TMI. He took a look. He like pulled my pants down, took a look, and he's like, "Whoa!" His first impression was like, "That's pretty big, dude."
Okay.
Let me grab this thing real quick. And he's like, I forgot the unit they put in your ear with the bag and the light. They check your ear during a checkup. He got that, wrapped it with a bag, and he's like, "So there's a really bright light on this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flash this light underneath the testicle. If light shines through, you're okay. Probably like just something came undone, loose liquids.
Yeah.
Clear it up with antibiotics, like clear you up. You're going to be okay." He shined the light underneath, no light came through.
Oh.
So that's like a red flag right there. Like, ooh, that's solid. Solid.
How did you feel when you didn't see a light shining through?
A little worried because at that same appointment, it now became like an hour and a half appointment where he's like, let's just check. I'm going to take you downstairs to do the exact same thing that you had done.
Yep.
Scan, like probe your entire area with the gel. Like, I remember when that was all done, the computer was kind of like right next to me. She's like, yeah, like everything's good. You can get dressed. We'll keep you posted. Just keep your phone close by in case anything comes up. Like, cool. And I looked at the computer as I was like getting changed up, and there's like 9 different pictures. All of it was a testicle. You could see my healthy one, normal size, cool, whatever. The big one, like pure black hole. Like
not
just
good.
like
Holy
nothing was
shit.
shining through. It had to have been something mass related. And then as I was driving home, that's when I got the phone call from my new urologist now saying, "Hey, I don't have anything else I can tell you to sugarcoat it, but you've got testicular cancer, dude." Like,
jeez.
And I like stopped in my driveway, like on
Must
the
have been
phone.
fucking freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, like
can't
I was
even
like,
imagine.
heart sank, like
Yeah.
cold sweats.
Yeah.
First thing she did say though, she's like, "This is the most common form of cancer men get, so you're not gonna die." I was like, okay, that's good to know. That's the first thing she said to me, and she was like, "We've dealt with this many, many times." She said, "You're probably at least a stage 2, hopefully not a stage 3. Stage 3 would mean it went up my entire system and got into my lungs.
That's the problem, right?
That's the scary one.
Yeah.
Stage 3 and stage 4 is when it gets to your lungs, it's on your bones, it's in your bloodstream. So I was at stage 2. So it was in my groin and it got into my lymph node area in my groin, kind of like you have lymph nodes towards your back where your spine is. My left ones were enlarged. And they were like, if you don't take care of those, they grow bigger and bigger. They start pushing on your vital organs, and then you can die that way. I was like, okay, that's not good to know. But she's like, you're a young guy. What we're going to do is we're going to blast the living hell out of you, and you're going to be fine no matter what. Because, again, you're already healthy, strong as an ox, good dude. Like your systems, like your frame for like recovering from all this and going through all the bullshit.
You can bounce back.
It's perfect. Like, this is like this will be like, they were like, this will be an easy assignment for us, but we're going to blast the living hell out of you. Chemo, surgeries, what have you. And they're like, we're going to start. It was like a Tuesday. They're like, we're going to start this Thursday. You come back. We're getting the nut out like right away. So that Thursday, really? I went right back in. I went under the lamps for like an hour and they just snipped it up. So I have an incision like this big kind of sitting above my groin area where they snipped the cable and essentially like squeeze the nut up and out, and it pops out your abdomen, and they sew you up, and then that was it. So I was like, cool, at least I have the source of this problem out of my system now. Yeah. That's a nice thing. And I bounced back in 3 days, like just fine.
Okay. But then from there, they have to do additional
tons of stuff. So that's so the chemotherapy was the one that scared me the most. That's where you have to just essentially sit in a chair. Things are getting fed through your blood vessels, and it's like saline and chemicals and like bad shit and tons of fluids. So, sorry, I know I'm kind of going on a rant.
I've always
it's a little lengthy, but it's,
I'm sure a lot of
kind of
people
cool.
wonder.
It's a whole saga, but like I'm always happy to share it because it means a lot to me now. I think I'll be honest, it changed me as a person.
And dude, you might not know. Someone might be watching this, and it'll encourage them to get
I hope so.
over to a doctor.
Please reach out to me if you guys run into this.
Save a fucking life.
Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, so nut was out. 2 months off, just recover, bounce back, already back in the gym, Krav, having a good time.
Okay. Wow.
Being a normal guy.
Yeah.
But they're like, we want you to rest and recover. And then we're going to get you on chemotherapy. We're going to do 4 weeks worth of chemo and 8 weeks of rest. So I would do 1 full week of chemo, like 5 days. One like Monday through Friday. And then I get 2 weeks off after that to bounce back. Once that 2 weeks was done, another week of chemo. 2 more weeks after that to bounce back.
So that's like going in every day for a full week?
Every day for a full week.
Wow.
And I was there from like 9 to 5.
Holy
much.
shit.
Now I live in Danville, so I went to Kaiser Walnut Creek to get it all done. They had a good team, bunch of moms everywhere. They're just like we're gonna take good care of you, sweetie.
Yeah.
I fucking loved it. It was amazing. Tons of juice. It was great.
Oh, there we go.
And so the first week I went in perfectly normal, fine. I felt great. Felt energized even. I was like not feeling any pain, nothing at all. And they were warning me ahead of time, like, yeah, you're going to lose your hair. Like, there's going to be some pain involved. You'll get sick. I saw things online. There's a movie, 50-50 or something like that.
With Seth Rogen, right?
No, the other dude. He was in, like, Inception and the Batman movies.
Oh, yeah. He was in 10 Things I Hate About You as well.
I think so,
I can't remember his name. I know exactly. He's in 50 Days of Summer.
Yes.
I know all of his movies, but not his name.
But they were like, there's a bunch of things involved.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who that is.
Also one of my favorite actors too. He's
actually a good actor.
I love him. Yeah, he's great. But yeah, they were like, you're going to experience all these things. It's going to suck, but you'll be okay. You'll get through it. And the first week of chemo, I had none of those effects at all. I think that following weekend I ate something with hot sauce and I got like bad heartburn, but that was it. And I was like, is this really how it is? Like, this is going to be, I'll be okay. This is kind of a cakewalk. Like I'm going to get by just fine. I got 2 weeks off. I was right back in the gym that following Tuesday and feeling good, hanging out with friends and playing drums, being normal.
Yeah.
I go in for the second week. Bam. Just like 10 trucks hit me. Yeah. I can't even begin to explain to you like how much internal pain I was in. But none of it was like, it's so hard to explain.
It's like I don't know. It's kind of
like internally things were like it was a war zone, and on the outside I just looked like I was like, like skin blemishes. My skin tone was lightening up. I gained crazy amounts of water weight. I was starting to do the throw up thing like at night because I can't keep food down. You started developing a metal taste in your mouth.
So you feel nauseous too, right?
You're nauseous. Your sleep is bad, and if you sleep, you have hella bad dreams because you have so many chemical imbalances now because of the chemo. And just it hit me really bad, and then the hair started coming out. Like I'll just kind of run your hair through your fingers through your hair like normal, and whole swaths just came out without any pain, super easy. I was pulling stubble off too. Whoa. It ended up becoming a bad habit of me like plucking shit out, That's when it really hit me. I was going to Krav at the time too, and they were like, I tried to go back after that second week when I did kind of bounce back, and they're like, dude, you're not looking good. And I got swollen up from all the fluids, and then I would lose it all because I'm not eating.
Right.
I can barely keep anything else down. I can't keep medications down. I'm throwing up everywhere, losing sleep. Your immune system gets super jacked up. You're super susceptible to flus and sicknesses and whatever. So chemo happened, everything changed. Like I was dying, like not physically dying, but like mentally I was getting so taxated, and it was bad. I was getting to like some really mentally bad places after a while because I couldn't do a whole lot. I had to go through a week of chemo and then sit out and then kind of go back to the gym and play drums. I had to like sideline myself a little bit from Fallujah. Like we did a few shows, but I couldn't like tour with them.
So you said it was one week on and then 2 weeks rest for how long?
4 full cycles of chemo. So 4 weeks worth of chemo, 8 weeks of rest. 2, 4, 6, 8.
So that's like 3 months basically.
About 3 months, yeah.
Which probably felt like fucking forever.
It felt like forever, yeah. And I was also doing this thing where I was driving myself to and from the chemo clinic, and the doctors were like, you should get your family to drive you and stuff like that. I was like, no, I got this.
Yeah, you're trying to keep it together the whole time.
Yeah, retain some sort of independence.
Absolutely.
There was even a time, dude, where they asked me, like, are you going to school right now? Like, do you have a job? Like, do you have a girlfriend? I was like, the school's on the hold at the moment. I'm not doing these show things with the band, and I definitely don't have a girlfriend at the moment. They're like, good. Good.
Wow.
Like, just because you
just
can get
rest.
Yeah, just rest.
Yeah.
Like, take time off. You're gonna be like brutalized everywhere you go. So I get through all that. My prognosis after going through the chemo, they gave me like 2 months like 2 months more off to just recover from everything once the cycle was done. And I did a bunch of CT scans, blood work, piss stuff, like check my piss and that kind of thing, because it'll go into your stream, your liquids, your fluids. And they're like, so your current scenario is great. Like, it's looking good. However, it didn't alleviate the problem that well with the lymph nodes growing in size. So they're like, unfortunately, we're still going to have a surgery to get those particular ones removed. And I was like, I'm cool with that. Fine. I don't know what to expect, but let's just get that shit out. Like, I'll do whatever it takes. At this point, I was like, I just want everything to get done. I'm going to listen to my doctors, like, no matter what,
Yeah.
So I got 2 months off after that entire chemo fiasco. And then went under the knife. It was a big, long, like strenuous, like 8 hours, they said.
Whoa.
But they had the right doctors and the right surgeons. And they're like, we still got it done. It's fine. Your systems and your internals are going to operate just fine without these certain lymph nodes, especially as time goes on and you recover. And again, you're a young dude. You're going to bounce back great. But I was at that point where I was like, when's that going to be? Because I don't feel like this right now. I've lost like 25 pounds at the time and stuff. So
wow.
Going to the knife, it was a success. I wake up. It's obviously like a lot of anesthesia, but when you first have a surgery of any kind, as you start to come to, the first few questions they ask you, like, hey, so you're all done, you're great. What are your pain levels right now out of a 1 through 10 scale? So I started feeling some like in the big incision. I was like, it's like a 7. And then I kept explaining to her, like, I don't know why, but I can't feel my right arm. I can't feel parts of my like left leg. They gave me the men's equivalent to like an epidural.
Yeah.
Shot through the spine to dull out pain, essentially, you know, like for you ladies in giving birth.
Yeah.
Because mine was pure abdominal. Like they're going to split me open. I have a cut like that big. Like,
holy shit.
I don't know if you can see it, but it's like right there.
Definitely
and it goes right to my groin.
Yeah.
But then I noticed I'd had no feeling from my right shoulder down, my entire arm, except for my pinky. When you have surgeries, they put those blood pressure clamps on you to check your readings every few minutes. I think one of them was put on incorrectly. So as I was coming to, I think nerve damage was done to my right arm during the whole process. Like this was just getting closed up in a improper way, cutting off blood and circulation to like my right arm. And it was a weird mix of, it's incredibly numb, but also incredibly painful, like internally, you know? So the rest of my body kind of came to, but I was in the hospital for like a week and a half to recover from this.
Oh, wow. That's a fucking long time.
And that whole time I kept explaining to them, like, I can't feel my arm. I can't feel my arm. Like what?
The whole week and a half?
It ended up being like 7 or 8 months.
Oh, really?
That you couldn't feel your arm?
The rest of my, from my right arm from the shoulder down, I could not feel it.
Holy
I was very
shit.
scared because it was leading to really bad like muscle atrophy, motor skill stuff. My strength was down. It was affecting my pectorals and my back, my traps. Clearly my entire arm, you know. And to make matters worse, as they were done and I was in the hospital, they're like, so the chemo didn't work as well as we wanted it to. When you recover, we're going to have you go through some more. And I was like,
are you like at that point, like, are you fucking kidding me? Dude?
Yeah,
like,
I really was. I was like, you mean this didn't help it? They're like, we have the lymph nodes out. That's a great thing right there. They're like, we're more than confident that if you do a bit more now, or not now, but like shortly after you're done recovering from this, it'll eliminate whatever leftover bacterias and elements that are floating, like free floating bacteria is what they called it, in my cells, in my bloodstream, like my urine, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was at this point I looked like a husk. I was a skinny dude. I lost like 45 pounds. Like I was too much water retention followed by too little. And it was pretty bad. I went home and I was kind of bouncing back a little, but I couldn't use my arm. It was literally like a means of, I don't know if the camera can see it, but part of my PT was, let's put a strength handle in your left hand, just squeeze really hard for a couple seconds. Cool. And like, it worked great. And then I would do the same thing on the other, and I would barely be able to like, I don't know if you could see on my hand, but
I could see it if you like hold your
hold
water
it over
bottle
there a little bit.
So I'll be like, I don't know if you can see my hand move at all. I'm like trying to like mimic it, but I basically would try my absolute darndest to squeeze this pressure clamp in my right hand, and they were like, we're sorry, but barely anything is happening. And I was like, and I'm trying really hard to squeeze, and I can't. My left hand's great, but my brain's telling me to do this thing with my right hand, but my right hand's not doing it. You know?
Well, so at this point, are you like not picking things up or eating or
I had to
doing
do
anything with your right?
Pretty much everything I had to do from then on for a while. I had to be left-handed, like computer
you,
stuff.
And you're right-handed?
I'm a right-handed person.
Jesus.
I'm a right-handed drummer. My biggest concern was like, am I going to get my feeling back? Because I didn't get it back for months and months and months. I was so scared.
So you couldn't drum?
I could not drum at all. Yeah.
Holy shit. Man.
It was like a kind of a task to drive left-handed only, you know? Had to like cross over and do certain things with the shaft and like seatbelt like thing and like move my arm in a way. Like it was a very scary time. I thought literally if I'm not getting my feeling back, am I gonna have to get this shit amputated? Like, am I gonna lose my arm?
Because at that point, you're thinking anything's possible. You know, you don't know where it's gonna go.
I have no idea. Yeah. I have no idea, and I'm already defeated by surgery and a whole mess of chemo. So when the chemo for that second bout came after the surgery, mind you, I only had 3 weeks to recover. I should have been recovering for like 3 months, really. They sent me 3 weeks after this was all done, and that was bad. That was like it was. So that one was 1 week, 2 weeks off for 2 whole cycles. So 2 weeks of chemo, 4 weeks of break.
Wow.
There was one specific day I remember. I was the first one at the chemo clinic, and I was the last one to leave. And there was only like one more oncology lady, like just making sure I was getting all my stuff done. And I walked so slowly to my car that day, and I was like, I'm not gonna die from the cancer. It's probably gonna be this chemo because I feel like I'm squinting. I'm squinting everywhere. It was weird. I was squinting everywhere, and it's dark out. That's how much pain internally I was in. You know, like
chronic pain, man.
Chronic weird pain. I'm not eating. I can't sleep. I'm thrown up everywhere. Like, can't keep any of my habit. Like it was hard to read a book. It was hard to play a video game. It was hard to do anything. I can't be on the computer for a long period of time without being like what's going on with me?
Oh my God.
It was a bad time.
Well, what do you do to keep sane in that situation? Would you like listen to a bunch of music or?
I don't know what I did, honestly.
Yeah.
I think I powered through it as close to the edge as I could. I remember one day I remember taking a walk with my dog after I got a corgi named Milo at the house. And
A Very Corgi Christmas.
Oh yeah, we watched an ad for a movie called A Very Corgi Christmas last night.
It looked like the worst movie ever made.
or the best movie ever made. You never
I know.
Corgis are great, dude.
Yeah, they're so cute.
But yeah, you're walking him.
I was walking him, and that was like a nice reprieve of like, I feel kind of normal right now because I'm out in the sun and it feels good to be outside and it's still daylight. I think it was like coming to, I think it was like summertime at this point. That surgery I had, I was in the hospital during 4th of July.
Jesus.
So this was like about a month after. So small things like that kind of, I think, helped me trudge through the mud kind of thing. There was also a time too where the oncology department was even like, you could get a green card. You're very deserving to like have marijuana based medicinal products to help you get through pain. Mm-hmm. And honestly, now that I'm this old, I kind of wish I did. They're like, you don't even have to smoke it. Just food, like cookies, butter, like elements in which to help you eat again, you know, because that's clearly the problem.
Help with the appetite. Yeah.
Well, and
appetite,
the pain probably.
And pain and sleep.
Yeah,
you know?
everything.
Pain suppress, like just everything. I don't know why I said no. I think I was like in this whole, if I'm this far, like what's the point? I'll just get through this the rest of the way it is right now.
Were you taking pain pills or anything like that?
A lot.
Really?
And even like I said, even though I was not able to keep any of them down, I was on like Vicodin and stuff and painkillers of all different types you can imagine, sleeping pills.
Oh wow.
That still wouldn't work.
Everything.
Yeah. Even like I was trying to do gummy vitamins at the time just to replenish vital, vitamins and mineral, just nutrients of some kind, because I'm throwing everything up and all my hydration's going out the door. Like my body's clearly turning into a husk. So even that was like a chore. So
Jesus.
So when you got to the end of that chemo, what was the final recovery?
The 2 weeks off, got a CT scan, more blood work, more piss work, and then I had to sit down and chat with my oncologist. He's like, "You're in remission. You're good to go.
Damn.
Everything's fine."
Fuck.
And at this point, I'm like,
how long had it been from like the day you went in to that point?
From early January, I think, till like end of September, almost October.
Wow.
Holy
so like 10 months.
So 10 months.
Yeah.
Mind you, it could have been much, much longer. Like I'm grateful that it was only within a year of time, And again, he was like, "I know you're feeling awful right now, but you're a young dude. Give it a little bit of time. You're gonna bounce back. You'll get your appetite back. You'll get your strength back. I know you're a gym freak at the time. Like you'll get it all back. Just be patient." So for once that was all done, I was like excited. I was happy, but it took some time to like rebound back and like get back to a normal weight. My hair came back curly because the chemicals like react differently in your follicles now. You know, I had weird skin blemishes everywhere. My scars were like super enunciated. And then because this was healing, finally, because chemo slows everything down or halts everything down, this was like causing me to have back problems too in my lower back because I need the incision to heal.
And
this
they
way,
cut through your abs?
Right down the center. And it was kind of morbid, but I actually asked them if they could show me a picture of my insides.
Did they? Did you see it?
They did. And it was just I don't think she took a good picture, but it was
it's blurry.
Yeah, no, it was just a big canvas of weird red spaghetti.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I couldn't really differentiate what was what, but they were like, we cut you open and we either push all your vital organs upwards or we actually take them out on a separate tray right next to your body. And then, it's gross, but
wow.
Because otherwise they'd have to go through your back, and that's invasive back surgery, and you can't have any of that. You know?
Yeah,
so. But they were like, we pushed all your stuff up, plucked them all out. Your body's going to operate just fine without these lymph nodes, and we put it all back. So I was just a weird amoeba thing looking,
So then you start to sort of feel after that last meeting a little bit better.
I was a little happier when I heard that, and I was like, I'm actually going to be able to like be normal again.
Yeah.
It took months. I think it took like a good 4 or 5 months where I was finally like, I'm coming back too, I think.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty good. I had family on the Hawaiian Islands, on the island of Molokai, and I went to go stay with them for like Christmas, New Year's, and I went ahead of my dad. and my she's my aunt at the time. She had been battling cancer like for a big chunk of her adult life. Ovarian cancer, came back twice, and just spotty elements of recurring tumors everywhere. Just always came back. So she was my main source of like inspiration and advice, because she's clearly been battling that for like 30 some odd years, maybe more.
Whoa.
So I was like, you're a fighter and I've only got to do this thing for 10 months. She's like, you just do what you can, you know, like I got like I went to go spend time with her and her husband. It was my dad's first wife, essentially.
Okay.
So I'm part of my dad's second family. But yeah, after like 4 months, I kind of started rebounding back. I was slowly but surely getting the feeling back in my arm. You have electrical currents that kind of run through everything in your body. So they were aligning back up, and you can tell they're healing, because if you're trying to sleep at night where you do your most recovery, gym stuff, fitness, what have you, it's the same for everything else internally too.
When you're sleeping.
When you're sleeping and you're at rest, everything recovers. So I was like getting crazy like electrical shocks through my right arm, because those connective tissues that were torn apart were trying to reconnect. And when they're separate and you have electrical currents going through, so I would like wake up in like 2 or 3,
wow.
Yeah, just jolty weirdness coming back, you know. So I'd say about a year after all that happened was when I was like, I'm good now. I'm back. I'm kind of back. Like every year that I was off perpetually made me get a lot better and better and better. And I jumped back into the gym 9 months, or I waited a while. I waited like 6 or 7 months. I think after everything was all done, I had to get some motivations from some friends, because there was definitely a time where I was like, I don't want to work out. I know.
It must have felt, if you feel so like beat down and weak, you know, it's going to be really hard.
Yeah.
And also just kind of starting over again, right?
It was essentially starting over.
Yeah.
Thankfully I had a lot of good close friends like Tommy Logan and like my band, and you know, shout outs to them for helping me like get through a lot of heavy moments of like rebounding back into like some sort of normalcy, whatever you want to call that, man. You know? But yeah, I'm at 7 months now. It didn't really emotionally hit me all, I think, until the end of that year when I was on Molokai. I think I went for a walk. She had like a bunch of cats at her house, and they like walk with me on the beach. Kind of had like a cool. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
it was actually beautiful. In a moonlight, Hawaiian moonlight at night is amazing.
I've never seen, but I've heard.
It's beautiful. But I went on a walk for myself, and I kind of like kindly just let it all out. Like that's when I finally broke down on myself. Like the whole, why did this fucking happen to me? Like, it could have been all people. Like, you know. Like I'm a gym dude. I go on tour playing drums. Like I was a swimmer for a big chunk of my life. You know, like of all things, why? You know, like I was doing the why? Like why me? Blaming the world. You know, and I felt like at the time, and I probably had good reason to do so. But I just broke down on that beach. I remember, and that was after I broke down for like a good 5 or 10 minutes. That's kind of like you know what, I'm gonna turn this bullshit around.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
No more.
Some people don't do that.
Yeah, it's almost like that was the cleansing for you.
I think it was.
To see it.
That everything kind of came full circle. That's when I was like, I'm going to, like I don't have a mother anymore. She passed away a long time ago. I don't have a lot of my grandparents around, and like some uncles and aunts and whatever. But I was like, if these people were around right now and they saw me go through this shit, like I would want to do my best to like make them proud. You know? I have a lot of friends that count on me to like wanting to get better. My band counts on me. My dad counts on me. My sister, like I got a lot of people that I care about in my life. And I was like, the best thing I can do right now is turn all this shit around and try to be a good dude and like prioritize like the best elements of my life first, health and fitness, like musical stuff, like, you know, just try and be a good person after all this. Like see if you can't use this bad shit as a fire, like an element in which you can turn things around, turn your life around, be a good person, care about your friends and your family, like put it towards things. Like I was like, I have a lot of fire and fuel right now. Let's see if I can't use that to my advantage, you know?
Seems like you did.
Do you feel like it still makes you look at life differently every day at this point?
Yeah, every day. Yeah. Every day. Yeah. I'm not the same person I was, I think, before all of that. And, you know, I was a different guy back then, and I was a healthy, strong, young dude, just just excited for the world and for the future and for music and all these great things that I love about myself. Having been demoralized so lowly from all that was like, I don't have a lot of time on earth, you know, like,
Totally.
So I my favorite quote actually is, you have a gifted amount of time on earth.
Yeah.
So why not use it, you know, like for the best intentions possible.
Absolutely.
Helping yourself, helping other people, like do your favorite things, be an example of like, you know, good fortune or hope or just longevity. Yeah, just you name it, you know.
Absolutely, man.
So I wanted to I came home from that trip with like the biggest fire under my ass. Like, okay, I'm going to turn things around.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a good dude. Let's get back into drums. Let's get back to touring. I can't go back to my old life. Like, that's a given. But I can still do some certain things I really love, like still, and then turn everything around and let's go from here. Let's kind of like emotionally start over a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
amazing. And go ahead.
That's essentially my story, guys. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
thanks for
Thanks.
sticking
Yeah,
around.
I mean, I think
Thank you.
like
Jeez.
Navene said earlier, I think that a lot of people out there, just if anyone listens to this and can maybe go get checked out or just hear the positivity
Yeah.
that sometimes it takes those kinds of scenarios to like really turn
Yeah.
your life and be that positive, like beaming light.
Like
in the
metal,
world.
I'm a firm believer you should go to some dark places to really figure out who you are, and then come
yeah.
back out of the fire like a whole new person, ready to take on the world with your friends and your family, and try and
I mean, that's
try
what
and live
life
your
is.
day.
Like,
Absolutely.
shit's gonna hit you. You know.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Bad shit will happen no matter what.
You can try to minimize it and be as prepared as possible, and that's all you can.
It just really matters on how do you react. What do you do about solutions?
Yeah.
Are you okay with grinding out things and enduring for a while? You know.
Totally. I think that's very defining for a person. You can always preach positivity and say a lot of things, but when it comes to like being in the actual moment of at total despair, the person you are defined, in my opinion, by how you react to those kind of situations.
Right.
When everything is not peachy and beautiful, how are you acting when the shit goes down?
Exactly.
And it's very admirable. Your story, I mean, that's amazing.
Thank
I
you.
can't imagine
you.
dealing with that shit as a 20-year-old.
It was a very eye-opening experience, and never in my life that I would ever think I'd get fucking cancer. You know? But
I'm glad you're here to talk
I
about
am
it. Man.
thanks, man. No, I am
too.
too. No, I'm always happy to share the story, and that's also out to other people out there too that come to our shows or want to meet me in person. If you got stuff like anything ailing you, like at this certain level, like don't be afraid to reach out. Like I will absolutely talk to you about any of that. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
My man.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, man.
Well, fuck, man.
This has been a long one. Thanks for
I
sticking
don't know
around.
how
This was-
I don't know
that's
how
a
we
good-
can go from there. That was an incredible story.
Yeah, I think we
Andrew,
should.
for real, man.
Yeah, it's been amazing having you, man.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad that we
No,
could.
I'm glad to be here. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much,
we
guys.
are so thankful for you coming down, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You guys want to hang out more often?
Yeah, we do.
Let's hang-
Let's
we're
go.
here anytime, man.
Yeah, let's
Come by
go
the
get
crib.
some sushi right now too.
I'm
Yeah,
so
we're gonna go out
hungry.
to
Me
dinner.
too.
You're probably starving, huh?
I've not
Fast.
eaten barely like all day, so I'm ready to stuff my face. Let's
Also,
fucking
we
do
should
it.
say tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving. If you're into it, I know that there are a lot of fucked up things behind Thanksgiving, but really at the root of it, I think it's about being with the people you love the most
Yeah.
and just celebrating all of the positive things in your life. So
Definitely. Happy
Absolutely.
Thanksgiving, everybody. And as always, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thanks for leaving the reviews.
yeah.
And thanks, Andrew, for stopping by.
My pleasure.
Any last words, brother?
Happy Thanksgiving. You
All
guys
right.
are all great. Everything's cool. Thanks for sticking around. Guys, this is a cool podcast. Cool idea.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
I give you all the best of luck in
If
the
you want to
world.
come back, just
Yeah.
let us know.
We'll do
We'll
a
have you
round.
back
Let's definitely do a
anytime.
round 2.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
excited for your guests that you'll have in the future too.
Thank you.
Because I know this isn't going to be the last one.
It's hard to pin down guests. Like they'll say, like, "Yeah, I'm into it for sure," and then you're like, "How about this weekend?" And then it's like,
No, I loved it because I asked you 2 days ago and you're like, yeah, let's fucking do it this weekend. I was like,
because
yes,
I was like, the
my
weekend's the
kind of
best
guy.
time. I'm home. I'm
Yeah.
not on tour. Like this is
My kind
perfect.
of guy.
I'm like an hour and a half away. So
Yeah.
let's do it. Fill my day up. With some cool stuff.
Hell yeah, man. All right,
Yeah.
well,
right on,
Yeah.
man. Well, thanks a lot, brother. And
yep, on that
thank
note, this is the KoperCrabb podcast.
we'll see you guys
See you guys
next
soon.
week.
Peace, friends.